All right.
We ready?
Yes, sir. We're live. Go for it.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to Nerdcamp Sports. Today, I am your host. My name is Will. Some people call me Coach D. I'm happy to be joined by my brothers in arms, Mr. Mike Williams and Raj. We should be expecting R&B shortly here. Joining in with us. How's everybody feeling today?
Man,
Pretty
feeling
good. Good.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know we
definitely
were just
feeling
kind
good,
of joking
man.
around.
Feeling good.
I know we were just kind of joking around about it, but y'all got any plans today for the holiday?
No plans.
After we both try to talk at
No,
the same time.
no. Go ahead, Mike. My bad.
Yeah, after we're done today, my kids like Stranger Things, and the guys who created it made this new show called The Burrows. So we're gonna get into that. Minus my little one, because she was just bugging me to go out. So she leaving. She too
She
grown for us.
got plans, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
try-
She got plans. She got plans. She like, Dad, it's been raining all weekend. I want to go out. All right. Screw it. Go ahead then.
Yeah,
What about you, Rod?
no plans because I'm at the plantation actually in about an hour or two. I gotta head to work. Unfortunately, this is my holiday to work, but hopefully everyone enjoyed today. It's not raining, you know. But man, I'm just surprised that this year went by so quick. I can't believe it's Memorial Day already.
It's crazy, right?
Insane.
Yeah,
Crazy,
time is speeding through.
Absolutely.
man. A lot of grandmothers, you know what I mean? They usually write in the stuff that they tell us. My granny told me when I was about 4 or 5 years old that, baby, the older you get, the faster this time gonna fly by. And
That is
again,
a
like
fact.
almost everything she told me, I'd be damned if she wasn't right. So,
That's a fact.
That's a whole
That's a
fact.
fact. Yep.
mhm. All right. Well, again, always happy to be here with you fellas. Let's go ahead and get into it. For the most part, we dealing with the NBA right now. So I'm going to start off with that. Since we had we're gonna start off with the Western Conference Finals between OKC and San Antonio. Um, Tied up at 2-2 right now. So basically, this is, you know what I mean, the best 2 out of 3 series at this point. Each team has won a game, on the other team's court. Each team has won a home game. Each team has won a road game. So I see this as a very, very, always saw it as a competitive, series between these two teams. But it really looks like we might be having a 7-game series here. Um, I'm going to lead off with you, Mike.
Okay.
OKC is dealing with some injury issues right now. Both teams are dealing with some injury issues, but Dylan Harper is playing and De'Aaron Fox is playing. OKC is, kind of struggling without Jalen Williams and AJ Mitchell. So, and
Mhm.
I saw that last night when I was watching the game. I don't know how much y'all got a chance to watch, but they are really struggling without a secondary ball handler.
Mhm.
So my question to you, Mike, is even with Jalen Williams, you know what I mean? He's been struggling all season with health. He's been fighting that hamstring injury the whole season, and AJ Mitchell struggling with his health right now. Do you feel like OKC can pull this off with those two guys who are important pieces to that team struggling with the health issues that they're dealing with right now?
I do. Only because they've won games without them, and they were first in
Mm,
the conference. And we know, that San Antonio's been their Achilles heel all season. But this
mhm,
series is 2-2.
mhm.
I believe that they need to go back to what they did to win the last 2 games. Was
Okay.
keep Wemby's ass outside. Don't let him get rebounds. Double him if you have to. When that ball's in the air, locate him and get 2 people on him. Make him uncomfortable. Him throwing up a half court heave last night was crazy. Crazy. That was some Steph Curry shit right there. I'm just like, damn.
Mhm.
You
Hey, he
know?
stepped into that like it was 23, 24 feet, bro. Like it was
Yeah,
nothing.
absolutely. So
He pulled up off the bounce
even
at half court. That's crazy.
Mhm.
so they are hurting without those two guys. I did pick OKC in 7, but however, I also said San Antonio can win this as well. Without those two guys, they have to find another way. Someone has got to come in and do what they do, even if it's someone like a dog like Alex Caruso, who has that championship with the Lakers. Does he have another
Mhm.
one? Just the one with the Lakers.
No, just the one with
The
the
Lakers,
Lakers.
yeah,
Just the Lakers
Yeah.
one. Like
yeah.
he when that finals happened, he was a dog, and that guy's got to come
Mhm.
out. I'm looking at do they still have the other Jalen Williams? 'Cause I
Yes,
know at one
yes, they
point,
do.
Yeah,
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 he's
yeah,
injured.
he's healthy and playing. He's healthy and playing.
That one. Oh, yeah. Okay.
the other, there was two Jalen Williams.
Two of them. Yeah, no, they got
Yeah.
two Jalen Williamses. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
He's got to step up, and they're going to have different bodies on SGA. So that means I'm looking at Chet. Like, dude, you made a defensive team. Get your ass on Wemby and also provide us some scoring. So to fully end and answer your question, I do believe they can do it and they can still win this series. I do still think it goes 7 games, but it would not surprise me if the Spurs do win this series in 7 games.
Okay. Raj, I got a question for you to kind of,
Yep.
counter that one. And you can touch on that too as well, obviously, if you want to. But
Okay.
San Antonio was dealing with some injuries too. But their guys played last night. So De'Aaron Fox and Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper is dealing with the abductor injury and what is it with De'Aaron Fox? An ankle or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's his ankle.
Yeah.
His right ankle.
Yeah.
Right. So just to kind of juxtapose the question I just asked Mike, how do you feel, Raj, about San Antonio's need? I know they, again, they pulled it off last night with Dylan Harper and De'Aaron Fox kind of playing, you know what I mean? Limping around up and down the court, playing hurt or whatever. But do you feel like San Antonio needs the best possible Dylan Harper and De'Aaron Fox to pull this series off?
No. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because one thing I've realized about this team, the San Antonio Spurs, is that they're head and shoulders better than OKC. And I know that's a hot take, but hear me out on this. The games that they lost was one in OKC and one in San Antonio, right? Those are the two games, the second game and the third game. Those two games, Stephon Castle gave up the ball 20 times in those two games. Now that you got De'Aaron Fox on the court, they haven't lost a game since. And I say that because De'Aaron Fox is the difference maker. De'Aaron Fox is the guy that holds the ball. Now, Dylan Harper is also a difference maker as well because he controls the ball. Stephon Castle is an off guard. He's the kind of guy you give shots to and make sure you hit him in the right position so he can get to the rack and slash. You don't put him on a position where he's got to pass the ball out or dribble up the court. He's not that type of guard. With that being said, even if you get 50% or 75% of De'Aaron Fox and you get 50% or 75% of Dylan Harper, that is more than what you're getting out of OKC's production on their backcourt. Because look at their backcourt now. You got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you got Caruso. Caruso, you already got the best of Caruso game 1. He shot like 8 threes. He's never going to do that ever again. I promise you that. Okay.
You say that was his career pinnacle right there.
Now if he would have split them and said I'm gonna give you like 2 threes a game, I get that. But he went off and he had to go off just for them to win. And I'm saying that because that's how good the San Antonio Spurs are. And last night, I don't know if you guys watched the whole entire game, but what I realized is that Wemby's unstoppable, man. He is unstoppable when he gets to that rack. I know we talked about his shot right before we got on air, I believe. Talked about that half court shot. But look, let's keep it real. He's
and even that was
8 feet tall.
And even that was a contested shot. Like there was
that's
someone
what I'm
there.
saying. And we know he can hit threes. We know that.
How much can you contest a dude that's 7'4" though? We talk about it with KD. You know
That's
what I'm
what I'm
saying? And
saying.
Wemby
Unless he
got
put
4
the ball
inches on
down,
him. Yeah.
right? If he holds the ball up above his head, you're not contesting that. You're not. Yeah, I mean, you could try, but you're not. But the
Hey,
point
give him
is,
an A
I
for
say all
effort,
that to
though.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you're doing the best you can. You got to at least show some type of effort. So with
It
that
gotta
being,
look good on film, right?
yeah,
That's all that
exactly.
matters at that point.
Exactly. Because you don't want the coach to pull you. You don't want the coach to pull you like what happened to Brian out there with Coach Mitchell. He pulled Brian to the side and coached him up, which I love. But I'm saying that
Yeah.
because you got to show some type of effort on defense. But with that being said, I think that the Spurs are going to take this series. That was a turn of events last night. OKC needed that game. I know it would have put
I agree.
the Spurs in a shallow grave, but they needed that game because I don't think Jalen Williams is coming back. I think this is it. So they're not getting the production. And if AJ Mitchell's not coming back game 5, excuse me, then it's a wrap. It's a wrap. They're going to wrap them up in 6, man.
Okay. Somebody mentioned, it might have been you, Mike. I'm not sure. You know, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody mentioned about OKC needing, AJ Mitchell and Jalen Williams. So a stat, and I'm not going to act like I went and looked this up. You know, watching ESPN this morning, watching First Take, I heard them talking about it. OKC was 11-10 in games that neither Jalen Williams or AJ Mitchell played this season. Now, that's not in a vacuum. Some of those games, Shea missed with injuries. Some other players missed with injuries. Don't get me wrong. But I still feel like that's a pretty good. And for a team that won, how many games they win this year? 64, 65, something like that?
Yeah,
something in that
I think it was 64.
vicinity. And 10 of your losses came with those two guys missing, missing in action, being out hurt. I'm not saying that it's an indicator that OKC can't win without them. But I do feel like it shows us how important they are to that team. That depth matters to that team. We've seen even when Shea is having poor games in the playoffs. Shea, you know what I mean? Look, this ain't been Shea's best playoff showing, you know what I mean? If we talk about cumulatively, you know what I mean? Over the course of these 3 different series that he's played in now. And his guys have been stepping up around him. So I just thought that was real interesting, that stat that they threw out there, you know what I mean, this morning. Like I say, I'm not saying that, you know what I mean, speaks on everything that's going on with them per se right now. But I do feel like it, you know what I mean? It speaks to how important they are to that team.
Right. And their bench, because if you looked at game, I think it was game 3, OKC's bench scored like 74 points. You know, and obviously
OKC is at least 10 deep, right? At the very least.
Yeah.
At the very least. And a lot of they bench guys will, on other teams, they will either be starting or they will be young guys on the team that's getting a chance to show what they can do.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And look, I ain't gonna lie. Part of the reason that I had Raj take the Spurs side of it, because I saw y'all going back and forth about Denver and San Antonio. You know what I mean? And how y'all felt about that. And I just want to speak to that real quick. This is what I'll say. San Antonio, I don't feel like that was an apples to apples comparison. I feel like San Antonio is in the spot that Denver was in 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? With a young Joker, a young Jamal Murray, you know what I'm saying? Michael Porter Jr., Bruce Brown, they were a team on the come up. Kentavious Caldwell Pope, they were a team on the come up. They won, and then they couldn't afford to pay the role players the kind of money that other teams are paying them because of when we talk about this first apron, second apron, this CBA that they dealing with now. They couldn't afford it, you know what I mean? Because the CBA is so punitive now. You know what I mean? It affects your draft picks and your ability to sign players. It's not like it used to be where you could just pay the tax if you wanted to pay the tax. It's all these punitive damages in place to prevent you from team building. So that's why I just didn't feel like that was an apples to apples comparison. I feel like San Antonio is where Denver was 5 years ago. And now they're trying to, you know what I mean, move forward like Denver did. So I don't think it's fair to to shade Joker so much at this point. Like Joker, obviously he didn't have his best playoff series either. Don't get me wrong.
No.
But we done seen enough of him to know who he is, you know, and when he got the proper help around him, we know what he can get done.
I think my critique on Joker is since he's won, he's been irrelevant when it comes to playoff play. Like a lot of first round exits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's had some first round exits, Raj. Come on.
Mike,
that's a fact.
He's on a team.
But that's a fact.
Hey,
he's
can I make a comparison?
But he's been out in the first round. That's all I'm saying. Is, you know, someone of his caliber, we've seen players in recent history, mainly LeBron, do a lot with nothing. So it is possible.
What have LeBron done?
What? Oh, we've seen LeBron drag multiple teams to the finals.
That's what I'm saying.
We've seen that.
With players that aren't nearly as talented
I'm talking about
as Jamal
recently.
Murray.
I'm not talking about prime LeBron. I'm talking about since he's been with the Lakers.
I'm not even talking about prime LeBron. I'm talking about shit when he took their team to the finals against San Antonio.
You got to.
There's no reason, absolutely no reason that they should have been in the finals. Like,
you got to talk about. We can't take LeBron now and compare him to Joker now because Joker's in his prime. I'm saying we've seen LeBron do more with less, and it's doable. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's not doable. Listen, let me say something real quick. Hold on, let me say it. Hold on. Wait. I'll let you land your plane. Let me land mine. Let me say this real quick. First and foremost, you're saying we have seen less of Joker in the playoffs since his championship run, right? Is that what you're saying?
No. I said we've seen less relevance. He's been bounced in the first round a few times.
I'm glad you said that. Less relevance. Let me just say this real quick. He plays with pretty much a makeshift team. He plays with one all-star. And that person just became an all-star this season. He have never been an all-star before that. He have never been someone that's been first team, second team, third team NBA. He's someone that is not even a relevant person in the playoffs. He had a good playoff run when they won the championship, but Jamal Murray never been a person that you depend on to give you 25 and 5. He's not. He's unreliable. He plays
Jamal Murray.
Person.
Jamal Murray has not been relevant in the playoffs at all. That's what you're trying to say.
His playoff run since the championship, he have not been relevant. Yes, that is correct.
Injuries, right? Which is part of the issue. Which is part of the issue that, you know what I mean? But when healthy, you can't tell me that Jamal Murray, look, he is the opposite side of the coin of James Harden. When I said I ain't never seen a motherfucker with two different careers, where he's a Hall of Famer in the regular season and then a scrub in the playoffs. Jamal Murray was a borderline all-star for a handful of years, and he kept having injury issues in the playoffs. But when he was healthy in the playoffs, he was a cold-blooded killer.
This is what I'm saying.
Wait a minute. Wait. That one playoff run, he hit like 2 game winners against the Lakers, right? And then another one against somebody like. So no, I'm not. I can't do that. I can't do that with you, Raj. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I know this is his first time making All NBA, but it's not because of a lack of talent. He had injury issues, but when he was on the court and healthy, he was a killer.
But listen, but what I'm saying is we like to compare apples to oranges, even though they both are fruits. They're not the same fruit. So what I'm saying is the relevance of having somebody dependable to go out there and give you 25, 30 points to help you get over the top to beat these teams, that is not Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray's always hurt. He's always in a situation where he got to go out there and put up a crazy stat or a game winner just to prove that he's somebody that's worth a contract. Because what was his excuse this series? What was his excuse this series against the Timberwolves?
He had a bad series. No excuse. He had a bad series.
That's my point. That's my point. So,
but so did Joker.
Going back to
so did Joker. He shot 40% from shit like that. He shot like 40% from the field as a center. He shot 40% from the field as a center. He had a bad series. He had a bad series.
Look,
yes, he did.
Listen, hold on a second. When you play with a team that nobody's contributing, you're going to take more shots. It's really that simple. It's simple math.
Still got to make them. If you're going to take them, you got to make them.
Your percentages is going to go down.
No,
He had
not,
20.
not for everybody. Not usually. Not usually. Look, and I'm basing this off of how you discuss how you feel about him, Raj. You say that he is the
Yeah,
greatest center of all time. I've never
and
seen
that's my
Shaq have a.
opinion. Yes.
I've never seen Shaq play in a series where he shot 40% from the field. I've never seen Akeem Olajuwon play in a
Because Shaq
series
always
where he
played
shot
with a guard
40% from
that
the
could
field.
shoot. He always played with. He always listen. What I'm saying is, Shaq played with Penny. Shaq played with Kobe. These two guys are Hall of Fame players. These two guys are known for being volume shooters. Shaq didn't have to shoot. Shaq didn't
Akeem,
have to shoot. Shaq just
Akeem,
backed down,
Akeem didn't play
get
with a
catch
Hall
the
of Fame
ball,
player.
and put it in.
Akeem didn't play
Huh?
with a Hall of Fame player. Akeem didn't play with a Hall of Fame player to
I
the
didn't
second
say
to
he
the second
didn't.
championship
I
run.
didn't say he
I don't
didn't.
think I don't
But do
think
you
Patrick
just
Ewing
didn't?
ever played with a Hall of Fame player. David Robinson didn't have a Hall of Fame player next to him until he got Tim Duncan, and they still were not shooting 40% in the playoffs, playing against each other. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Competing against each
So
other.
what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. The game is completely changed. Those guys you just mentioned never took a three-point attempt. So let's just start with that. So the shooting's different. The percentage
I agree.
is skewed because we don't play the same. It was back
We
to
can
the basket. It was
we
back to
can
the
we,
basket the whole entire time. Back to the
we can pull up the
basket,
true
layup,
shooting
dunk.
percentages. We can pull up the true
So the
shooting percentages
percentages
if
are
you want
different.
to.
50% next to the rim versus 50% from a 15, 16-foot shot is totally different. But what I'm saying is Joker don't play with a Hall of Famer. Joker doesn't play with an all-star. Joker also doesn't play with specialists like he did when he went for that championship run. So we're not going to make this a Joker show. We're going to move on to the next subject. But I want to just say what I have to say with that because guess what? Those are three factors to win the championship. Specialist, all-star, and playing with the team that's playing together. That team was trash. I could have told you that team was trash. And I admitted it, that team was trash. They played horrible. You said Jamal Murray played horrible.
I did. I'm not saying that they were supposed to win a championship this year. All I'm saying is, again, this is what I'm saying, Raj. When you are considered to be, whether it's an all-star, because it's levels to this shit, right? So if you're an all-star, there's more expected of you. If you're an all NBA, there's even more expected of you. If you're a three-time fucking MVP, you know what I'm saying? There's even more expected of you. And whatever the situation is or was, I'm not saying that you're lying about the fact that he just didn't have the best possible team around him this year, but he still did not play his best series. And I'm judging him, against what I've seen him do. You know what I'm saying? I'm judging him based on what he's done for the last 8 years. Six first team All NBAs, 2 seconds, 3 MVPs in a championship. He fucking 7'1". If he go out there and shoot 40, now it would be different. I would agree with your point if all he did was shoot jumpers the whole series, but that's not what happened. He tried to go down to the block. He tried to get to his midi. He shot threes. He shot bad from the floor for the series. Because even if he shot well, around the basket,
he had a 4-time.
Oh, let me finish. Let me finish, Rod. Let me finish. Because even if he shot the ball well around the basket and in the paint and shot it terribly from 3-point range, he would still be somewhere closer to 50% for that series because he wasn't shooting as many 3-point shots as he was post-up shots and middies. So again, if you want to go to the true shooting percentage, you know what I mean? We can do that too. We can do that. He didn't have his best series. He was still maybe the best player on the floor, the second best player on the floor. Don't get me wrong. But he, according to his standards, you know what I'm saying, that he's presented for us the last 8 years, he had a bad series, bro. And he ain't the first person of his caliber to do so. It's okay. It's okay. You know what I mean? He ain't the first. He ain't gonna be the last. But he had a bad series.
So let's look at the numbers real quick. He averaged 25.8 points, 13.2 rebounds, and 9.5 assists. That's a bad series. What is it? What is Wemby averaging?
For him, now? For him, yeah.
No. What is Wemby averaging right now that everyone's glazing over? What is Wemby averaging right now?
They are not the same player, so I'm not going to view them the same way.
Anybody got a computer or a laptop or a phone they can look up Wemby's numbers in this series against OKC?
I got you. I'm gonna go ahead and look it up for you. I'm gonna go ahead and look it up for you. But I just saw
gave you 26, 13, and 9.
On what kind of shooting percentage and how many turnovers?
Listen, 26 points a game is 26 points a game.
No,
I
it ain't.
don't know
No,
what
it ain't.
planet other people are living
Oh,
on, but
no,
26 points a game.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you this. I watched Jerry Stackhouse as a Piston almost average 30, but he shot 41% from the field. It's not the same. It's not the same, bro. It's
Because
not.
if you add up the rebounds, if you add up the points, 26 points and 9 assists. Go ahead. What is Wemby averaging?
I got 30.3 points, 13.3 boards, 4.3 assists, 3 blocks, and a steal.
Okay.
Through 4 games.
Okay. Now look at the All-Stars he got next to him. He's got who? He's got Fox. He's got Castle. Right? Those guys are All-Stars, correct?
Castle has never made an All-Star game. He's still a young player. Castle. This is only Castle. What, third season in the league?
He got Fox next to him, right? Fox
barely been playing.
Okay, I rest my game.
Right.
Next subject.
And he's won games without Fox.
And
I'm just gonna say this:
Jokic won games without Murray. Next subject.
I'm talking about in the playoffs. I'm talking about right now.
Two things is one.
Are we really going to do this for 10, 15 minutes more?
Hold on. I got 2 things I want to say.
Go for it.
Wemby's 6 games away from an NBA championship. Joker's been home since round 1.
Well, he got a championship. So go ahead. Move on to the next subject.
And 2.
We really going to do this for another 10
hold
minutes?
on. One more thing I got to say. 2.
Go for it.
Do know if the Spurs win 6 more games, we having another conversation about head-to-head. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
He's got to win those MVPs, though. He's got to win those MVPs. That's a part of the recipe. You can't just say one thing and not mention the rest of the recipe. See, that's how you mess up the whole food. See,
right now, you talk about careers.
Add the rest of the recipe.
Right now, you talk about careers, Raj. We talk about these playoffs right now.
1 championship and at least 3 MVPs. Now we can talk.
Don't try and backdoor me.
Now you want to make it a career conversation when all we've been talking about is the 2026 playoffs.
Don't move the goalpost just because you don't like the narrative. Once again, 1 championship, 3 rings. 3 MVPs. You need at least 1 MVP. He needs to have at least 1 MVP. Then we can start talking about it. Other than that,
don't forget that those MVPs came in the midst of not being able to get to the Western Conference Finals without the player that you say is trash and Jamal Murray.
Hey,
he didn't reach the finals until Jamal Murray was able to stay healthy.
He still got 3 of them though. So if he gets 1, then we can start having a conversation.
Man, Raj, you like Stephen A. Smith out here, man. You changing the conversation based on what the fuck it is you trying to argue, bro.
I'm just asking the real questions because listen, 26 points, right? 9 assists. That means on average, that's about 18 points that you're adding into the factor. So 26 and 18, let's break out the calculator. 26 and 18 points, that's 44 points that's being distributed from 1 player. 44 points. I just pulled out the calculator. That's on average. That's if that assist wasn't a 3, right? Because he had 9 assists. So 26 points plus 18 points is 44 points. If they can't figure out how to score at least 50 points for the team, then that's not Jokic's fault. He done got you 44 points for the whole entire series.
And he giving up 50 on the other end. He giving up
35 points. Even if Wemby averages 35 points and 0 assists, that's still Jokic contributes 44 points. Do you guys not understand?
And do you not understand? And do you not understand that we can't even quantify how many points Wemby prevents? We can quantify how many points Joker give up. We can watch the game and see that and count that up.
That is
so again.
Correct.
So again, you can throw that out there all you want.
Let's use it quantifiable. Let's use the points that we can receive to win a game. Because even if you win a game by 1 point, that's still a win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wemby still playing, and Joker lost in the first round. So
and he doesn't have a team.
When we talking about wins, you brought up wins.
Harper.
You brought up wins.
Anybody even close to that? He doesn't have anybody close to that.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anybody close to that. You guys know that, but you guys want to drag this on. But it's all good. Let's move on to the next.
Hey, look, real quick.
We can move on.
Look, because RB came in.
Because you the one that tried to sit up and make it seem like the players that he played.
I'm not the one holding it for 30 minutes. We in this 30. We're in this for 30 minutes. What are we talking about?
Michael, you keep talking about 26. Michael Porter Jr. averaged 25 this year. Where the fuck?
Okay, but what are we talking about right now?
We can't just.
Are we talking about the Spurs?
We can't just bring
the
up
Thunder.
The numbers.
We talking about Jokic not even in the playoffs?
You have to talk about what you see as well, bro.
Are we talking about?
This my thing with you. When Wemby had that bad game against Minnesota, I owned up to it and I said, yes, Wemby needs to do more. When they lost that game and he only had like 3 rebounds or some shit. Fuck yeah, he got to do more because you 7-4 and you only have 4 rebounds and y'all lost. Y'all
exactly.
Got your
and
ass
so
why is it so hard for you to be able to realize the same thing with Joker? That's my question. Why is it so hard?
I didn't say that. I never said that. I never said that. But what I'm saying is we got to look at it as what it is. If it's a team sport and there's one person scoring 26 points and there's one person giving you 10 assists a game, right? That's 44 to 46 points a game.
Yeah. It can be.
I mean, I don't know what else to tell
on the bus. It's 25 people on the school bus, but it's only one driver. It's only one driver.
I don't know what else to tell you.
Accident, the driver is responsible. The driver.
But once again, we're almost 32 minutes into the show, and we've been on one subject.
So having said that, we're gonna go ahead and keep it moving. Because I know you, we all know you got to get to work, Raj. You know what I mean? And I don't want to hold you up or nothing.
Exactly.
I want to get through everything.
We got to keep the flow of the show. Come on, what are we doing?
Absolutely. I mean, you're just mad about the flow of the show because don't nobody agree with you, but it's all good though, bro. It's cool.
But that's fine. You don't have to agree.
It's cool.
Men lie, women lie, numbers
okay. It's okay. Hey, listen. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and this is not an answer that I need This is not a question that I need anybody to answer. I'm gonna just throw this out here as a thought process, and then I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next topic. But how many players, great players, have we seen ball out in a series and lose? Everybody know they played well, but they lost. And when they lose a series, do they get credit for playing well and losing? Nope. So again, when you're a 3-time MVP in the conversation for the greatest center of all time and trying to position yourself as one of the greatest players of all time, you get held to a different standard. That's the only point I was making. We're going to keep it going. We still in the Western Conference. This is my next question. And me and Ryan were actually having this conversation the other day. So, OKC, I'm not saying they're in trouble, but moving forward, they got some financial issues they got to deal with. We all know that Shea is already on a max contract. We all know that Jalen Williams got an extension, and they extended Chet Holmgren already. Okay, I know Chet is still on his rookie contract. I think Jalen Williams might still be on his rookie contract, but I know that they go from between the 3 of them accounting for $56 to $58 million for the cap, for the salary cap. Next year, that goes up to 123, 125 million, if I'm not mistaken, based off of these extensions that Chet and Jalen Williams got. So my question to you guys is, do you think that OKC, whether they win this championship or not, do you think that they can keep that big 3 together moving forward, or is somebody going to have to move on?
So let me ask a question. Maybe one of you guys can answer, because I don't fully understand how that works, right? Like, I get what they're trying to do, but how does that affect? How can they, if they've already signed extensions, right? They're already under the second apron. How does that affect it going forward? If that makes sense, like they're already there. Like you can't change the guys.
I got an answer for you. I got an answer for you. I got you.
It'll be next season that they go into the second apron.
Right. Because Jalen Williams, he made All NBA, so he got a max contract. Chet Holmgren, you know what I mean? You see, so they're still on their rookie contracts, which is, they might be making 8, 10, 12 million or something like that, but they're about to jump up into that 40, 50 range. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
30, 40 range. You know what I'm saying? Because this will be their second contract. I think Shea might be on his third contract, if I'm not mistaken. But so they're jumping up into that big boy. You know, so just the three of them. We talking about roughly 125 million, give or take a couple of $1 million. And that's not even, you know what I mean? Not that they necessarily have to quote unquote fill out the rest of their roster because they already loaded, but anybody beyond them, basically, they're paying the tax on, which again comes back to, it's not like it used to be where you could just pay the tax and pay double or whatever. Now it's about draft picks and, you know what I mean? They really hamstring you and cuff you when you are in that second apron for 2 years or more or 3 years or more. You know what I mean? They really restrict you in how you're allowed to build your team. Whether it's even like Cleveland right now, people keep talking about LeBron, you know, going back to Cleveland next year. And it's like, oh, well, and me and Ryan had this conversation, I don't know how long ago. And I was telling him, like, bro, the money can't make sense unless LeBron decide that he want to take a minimum contract, which I know he's not going to do. The money, there's really no way to make that make sense. They can't do a sign and trade because of how long they've been paying the tax, and there's restrictions on how they can move. So this is why I'm asking this question about OKC, because we all know they got a juggernaut right now, but they're not going to be able to keep that whole team. They're not going to be able to pay everybody. And they got, you know, again, we already talked about this, 2 or 3 guys coming off their bench that could be starting for somebody else, possibly all-stars, maybe for somebody else. So what do you guys think about this for OKC moving forward? And again, Raj, because this was when I was saying this is something, it was something that I wanted to check in with you about, or I wanted you to read that article. I'm not gonna say it right now because I'm gonna speak on that, you know what I mean, a little bit later. But
okay,
do they trade Jalen Williams? Do they trade Chet? Do they, you know what I mean? Do they trade some of their bench guys, you know what I mean, for more draft picks and, you know what I mean, kind of reload like that? Because y'all know how I feel about Sam Presti. He knows how to find players and talent in the draft, you know what I mean, and keep reloading. Yep. The shit that Denver tried to do, you know what I'm saying? It didn't really work out like that for them. You know what I mean? That's what Denver tried to do. This ain't Joker hate. This is Denver front office. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's what
Denver thought they were going to have their young players stepping into these roles that they let all them veterans go when they couldn't pay them. And this ties into that conversation because Denver couldn't afford to pay all of those guys because it was going, you know what I mean, handcuff them and how they were able to move forward.
Right.
Ryan, you want to go ahead? R&B, you want to go ahead and start off this one?
Yeah. So I think OKC, just watching Sam Presti over the years, a lot of the flack that he caught from the James Harden situation and, you know, taking him so long to win the championship, my guess is that he'll probably try to keep the core nucleus together, and he might just try to sell off some of the bench pieces or whatever, because like you just said, I'm pretty sure he has the confidence in himself, and he's also earned the confidence of the franchise that if he does try to sell off some of the bench pieces for more draft capital, not necessarily all draft capital, you'll probably try to swing a couple veteran players or two to come fill in on the bench as well, that they believe he'll be able to get it done. But at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if I don't think they'll move on from Chet. I don't think they'll move on from Chet at all. I agree with you. The piece that I think would probably be traded would be Jalen Williams, and that's given his his hamstring history. He seems to have a lingering hamstring issue that's hindering him right now. From reading the article, it looked like it would be the Brooklyn Nets that they try to make the move to, but I don't know if I really like that. You know, that kind of put together that they did with that article, because it's like, okay, now you moving Jalen Williams, you know, for Michael Porter Jr., who's already in a big contract, and then they saying like, well, they need a franchise piece, and I'm like, well, you know, so I feel like a dude that y'all just traded for who's still young, that just averaged damn near 26 points a game for y'all this year. It's just somebody that you should look at as a franchise piece to move forward. So if anything, I'm trying to pair. Yeah, if anything, if I'm Brooklyn, I'm trying to pair Williams with Porter, not exchange them, because that just land me right where I'm at. It probably lands me right where I was already at this year. So and that's it's not even a guarantee to say that Jalen Williams will be able to go out and do by himself what Michael Porter has already proved to do this year. So, but like you just, I know it's probably the money that matches the most.
You got to make some salaries match.
Yeah. So I don't know. So that's a tough one. But like I said, if it was one that they would trade, I agree that it would probably be Jalen Williams. But I think that they're probably going to try to keep the core together, and they're probably going to try to sell from some of these bench pieces and stuff.
Okay. Raj. So Ryan just touched on it. And again, I was trying to hold it until, you know what I mean? I brought that whole article up, but in the article, it is talking about. No, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, because, it's plenty of other stuff in there that I can still talk about. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. That's no problem. But what they're saying in this article is basically, and I forget everything that was involved in the trade, but essentially Jalen Williams for Michael Porter Jr. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Williams going to Brooklyn, Michael Porter Williams coming to OKC. I do disagree with Ryan a little bit because I don't think that OKC necessarily need like another quote unquote ball dominant superstar. And we've seen that Jalen Williams can play off of Shea and off of Chet. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like Michael Porter Jr. would kind of be like a situation where he was when he was in Denver. You know what I'm saying? Like he's your quote unquote third option, but he's a damn good third option to have. And he's not a ball dominant player. And he's not ball dominant in a way that's necessarily going to clog up your offense. So I'm not saying that he's a better player than Jalen Williams, but if OKC can't afford to keep all three of them, being Jalen, Chet, and Shea, I could understand why they will feel like Michael Porter Jr. would be a good fit for them. And Jalen Williams got a chip already. Maybe he want a opportunity. Maybe he will be looking forward to an opportunity to kind of do to Jaylen Brown, what Jaylen Brown did this year. People was shitting on Jaylen Brown for saying this was his favorite season in the NBA. And he like, I really just got to go out there and ball and show y'all exactly what I can do. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But go ahead, Raj. What you thinking about that? How you feeling about that?
I really don't like that trade. I think that Michael Porter Jr. fits well in Brooklyn, and I know it didn't look well last season, but this was the first time we actually saw Michael Porter Jr. as the first option with a young core around him. Now, I know and understand that there's going to be a move, especially if they don't win the championship this year with OKC. I know they're going to probably move either Chet or Williams. I believe they're going to move Williams because of his injury history, and, you want to sell high. But low key, I think there's a move that's going to happen that's going to really shake up OKC, and that is them getting rid of AJ Mitchell. That's the aha, because if they offer AJ Mitchell in a tight package deal with Jalen, I think that's going to take away from OKC's nucleus, but it's going to help another organization out. Even if it's not even a Brooklyn Nets, it could be somebody else. Like it could be another team like the Sacramento Kings or, the Memphis Grizzlies, something like that. But I honestly believe there's going to be a shakeup, and there's going to be pretty much a trade for picks at its highest point, because you want to sell high with these guys. You want to sell high with Jalen Williams. You want to sell high with AJ Mitchell. And you want to get as many assets as possible. And the way that Sam Presti builds his team is through draft picks, so he can get him at least 4 years with a rookie deal, which is pure genius. To build like that. So that I think that's what's going to happen. He's probably going to ship him out to a team that just needs a star and really don't have one. So I'm thinking maybe, like I said, Sacramento, maybe Portland, maybe Memphis, a small market team, middle market team that have draft picks, and they can ship out for draft picks.
Wait, real quick before you go, Mike. I just want,
of course, too.
Real quick before you go, Mike. I just want to throw this out there, Raj. So AJ Mitchell was signed to a 3-year contract worth $8.7 million. I'm gonna say that again. He signed to a 3-year contract worth $8.7 million. So a team that's
total.
I'm not even total, not per year, total. So again, a team that's trying to figure out how to pay their superstars, I don't think they letting AJ Mitchell go, because he is bargain basement prices for penthouse production. You know what I'm saying? So, or at least that's kind of where we see him going. You know what I mean? Obviously, we know he's not the man on that team, but we all know that he's better than the role that he's playing on that team right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's why
he's a legit starting point guard.
So I don't see OKC moving him because of the value of his contract.
That's fair.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike. What you thinking?
One of two things, and you both kind of alluded, R&B and Raj both alluded to each point. But the piece to move to me would be Jalen Williams. But moving him to the Nets, that might not be good for them because now Michael Porter Jr. has injury history that we know about, and now Jalen Williams could be going down that same path. So even if they're incandescent or trading one for the other, they kind of cancel each other out. To me, my opinion is to keep the three together and rotate that bench. We know OKC over the next course of years has multiple draft picks from the Paul George trade and and all that stuff, So I would believe that they could keep that core together and repeat and rinse and repeat the process of bench players versus giving up a piece of their core. Just to stay competitive in a sense. So if it were me, I would go down that alley. Jalen Williams, I believe, or hopefully he will be able to stay healthier down the road. But excuse me, I think the right option is it's a lot easier, in my opinion, or it's more likely, not easier. It's more likely that you'll be able to draft and create chemistry with a bench than it is you'll be able to get another star player. You've already given these guys their money, so you kind of in that zone with them in a sense, in my opinion.
I'll just say this, and then we'll move on to the next topic. I feel like if they do keep all three of them, if they keep Shea, Jalen, and Chet, then it's basically impossible for them to keep Hartenstein, Caruso, and Dortz. Like they're gonna have to. And which again, coming back to Denver, you know what I'm saying? Denver had to let go a bunch of high level role players that helped them win that championship. You know what I mean? Because they couldn't afford to pay them moving forward. This is kind of where I see OKC at right now. You know what I mean? Denver tried to keep their big three. You know what I mean? And move their role players, and it didn't work out for them again. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen with OKC, but I feel like they find themselves in a very, very similar situation to what Denver was dealing with after they won their championship. What was that? 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it was. I feel like they kind of find themselves in that same situation. All right, we're gonna go ahead and keep. Unless anybody else got anything they want to share on that topic, we can go ahead and keep it moving. I ain't holding nobody up.
Were you gonna touch on some of the other teams, or that was just like the only one you were touching on from that?
No, I was gonna touch on that article. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But you mentioned that piece of it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But I was gonna touch on that article. We're gonna flat on over to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Shit is over.
Shit is over. But you know, I'm not. So who y'all think gonna win? Do y'all think Cleveland got a shit? No, I'm bullshitting. I do have a few questions though.
Okay.
Yeah. Is Cat from here on out gonna be a point center? And should he have been a point center? You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily going to say from the day he stepped foot in the NBA, but credit to Mike Brown, you know what I'm saying, for tapping into this part of game that nobody else really has before. You know what I'm saying? Is he going to keep on moving forward like this, which is, again, kind of, I feel like he is raising Jalen Brunson's floor right now. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all feel like the optimal move for the Knicks is to keep Cat in that point center position? Raj, you can go ahead and go first.
Repeat that question again. I'm sorry. Stefan, I'm sorry. I was reading the news on Stefan Castle losing his grandmother. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you good. You good. Prayers to him and the family, most definitely.
Yeah.
I was just asking: do you feel like it's in Cat's best interest and the Knicks' best interest for them to keep him in that facilitator role that they done had him in since the end of the last series? Like, is this the kind of Cat? Do you feel like basically did Mike Brown? I don't want to say unlock Cat. Because as much as people be shitting on Cat and hating on Cat, he's been a really, really, really good player. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For a long time now. But do you feel like like Mike Brown kind of is optimizing, you know what I mean, his skill set right now? And is this what you feel like Cat, should this be his kind of game moving forward?
I love this version of Cat's game. I also feel like Mike Brown is doing exactly what he's supposed to do. And shout out to Rick Brunson, too, Jalen Brunson's dad. I remember he pulled him on the side of the court and spoke to him. And he told him, he said, you're not that dude. You are not that guy that got to control the ball 24/7. And after that conversation, they kind of pretty much moved Cat to that point center type position or point forward type position, whatever you want to call it. And I think
for clarity, he said that to Jalen.
Yeah, he said that to Jalen, his son.
Okay.
Jalen pulled him, Rick pulled him to the side and was like, look, stop, stop doing what you're doing. You're dribbling the ball, you're dribbling the air out the ball. And I think that's important because as much as we loved, and it's all over the place when it comes down to guards. We had this conversation a while ago. As much as we love to say pure point guard, pure this point, pure that, there's no such thing in my book right now because there's so many different combo guards in the league. And to have someone like Cat take that pressure off of Jalen, it makes Jalen more comfortable at being a shooter, being a better passer in certain ways. You know what I'm saying? Because now he could get the ball and he see the double team, he could kick it out. It makes the team better. The team is like at a level I've never seen a Knicks play ever. And I've been watching basketball for damn near 35 years. So I feel like Cat and what he contributes to the team is exactly what the team needs. And honestly, I think if they keep this up, not saying they can win a championship, guys, I think they can at least win 2 games. And I think that's not too far out the realm of keeping it competitive in the finals.
All right. Mike, you can go ahead. What you think about it? How you feeling about this topic?
When it comes to Cat, I think it took time for him to find who he wanted to be as a player. And, we look at the Knicks top to bottom right now, and everyone was critical of everything they did. Even when they signed Brunson, I'm like, what? You signing that guy? Got all these guys out here, and you're signing that guy? Really? You look at when they gave away all the picks for Bridges, and everyone was like, what the hell are you doing? And then I think they gave away a slew of picks for OG. And then the trade for Cat, and you're like, do they know what they're doing? So I say all that to say they have created, in a world, they created something with guys that weren't portrayed as all-stars, right? Cat was an all-star in Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. But those other 3 guys were not. Multiple times.
And all NBA.
And all NBA. So when you look at this, it was about building a team that can make things cohesive. Now, right now, that's working, right? I'm okay with it right now. So to a degree, as long as it works, ride the wave. But if someone's able to make it awkward for him, I believe that they can navigate because this team has built chemistry. Right now, the Knicks are arguably playing the best basketball I've seen in my lifetime of watching basketball. Can't speak for obviously the 70s, the 80s, but they're even arguably playing better than they did in the 90s, for us who can recollect that time. The Knicks haven't been this successful, since, Melo when them got to the playoffs. They had some success back then, but Not like
Melo
this.
only got out of the first round one time.
I
I'm a
know,
Melo guy. That's my boy.
but I like him in the point forward. I think point center rather. Think it works for them, and they're playing basketball at an elite level. And just to Roger's point of the championship, is that obviously no one has come down from 3-0. And I don't believe this will be the year. The Celtics almost did it a couple years ago, came back to 3-0. But I want to just, and it's a little off, but I just want to make a hint of this, that Cleveland had 2 7-game series before this series, and the Knicks had 10 games that they've played. And they've used they've used both of those things to their advantage. They rested, they've practiced, they've done the work, and whatever works will work for them. But don't think this team can't win in the finals, because they can definitely win. And me and Roger from New York, and it'll be a solidified eruption if the New York Knicks
It would
bring
turn
the
into
title
Gotham
home.
City.
You said
It will
what?
turn into Gotham City if they win the championship. It'll turn to Gotham, and that's why. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mike, but I gotta say this.
I was good.
That's
I
the
was
reason
done.
why. That's the reason why the police, the NYPD, put out an order that said they are not allowed to celebrate outside anymore of the Madison Square Garden. They stopped that last week. They said no more. You guys gotta go home, because it's already people getting stabbed. A woman got her shirt ripped off. It's turned to Gotham City if this team wins a championship.
Movies.
Well, let me again, and before R&B goes, it's kind of crazy to say that because when the Saints won the Super Bowl, I had some cousins that won or that lived there at the time. So when they won, they were kind of close to the hood, and she was like, "Cuz all I heard was gunshots, screaming, riots, fights." I'm like, "And y'all won? Like, what would have happened if y'all lost?" Like,
Right? I know. That's crazy.
like, what would have happened if you lost? But that's all I had. So R&B can go when he's ready.
Were you done, Raj? You spoke your mind?
Yeah,
You said everything you had to say?
Yeah. No, yep.
Okay. I'll say this. When we talking about like Hall of Fame level players, and look, I'm not saying that Brunson is there just yet, but like Mike was saying, like he couldn't believe the Knicks gave him that money. I don't think you watched that series against Utah when Luka was hurt and Brunson was dropping like 30 on them, and they still ended up winning that series with Luka missing 2 or 3 games. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, real quick, just a quick sidebar to that. I do remember, but I don't think sometimes you don't see people in the roles that they're in when bigger roles than they are, right?
Yeah.
Wrestling's the perfect analogy to that, because like take the Hardy Boys. They split them up. I still never believed in Jeff Hardy in that role as the guy. Many people loved it. I did not. I just couldn't see him outside of that. And even though he did well, I was never a believer. Same thing with Jey Uso. To reference it back, I knew Brunson could. You have players that could step into that role, right?
Yeah.
But I couldn't portray him being that guy. That's all I'm saying. That's why I was like, what the hell? Not that he couldn't, but that's just how I seen it. I just wanted to put that in there.
And look, just for clarity, I'm not sitting here saying that, I knew he was about to be like an MVP candidate when he got to New York, but I knew he could ball though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I knew he could ball. That's all I'm saying. I feel you though. I understand exactly what you're saying. But like I say, I feel like to the point I was trying to make, I give you a great example. I'll give you a great example. And this is actually different conversations, but same team I'm about to talk about. So Dirk Nowitzki, right? Dirk lost to the 06 Miami Heat. They was up 2-0 to them. Miami came back, you know what I mean, won 4 straight. Dwayne Wade shot 38 free throws a game, all that BS, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. At one
Yeah.
point, Dirk's reputation was that he was soft and he was never going to win nothing. But then I remember in that summer of 2011, once they traded for Tyson Chandler, and I'm not sitting here saying that, I said to myself, oh, they're going to beat the Miami Heat in the finals. But it was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, they kind of got a squad around Dirk that fits him, what he needs to be his best self. Dirk is not going to go out there and block shots. He's not going to protect the rim. He only going to get you 7-8 rebounds a game for a 7-footer, whatever. But he going to shoot the blood out that thing. You know what I'm saying? And get you the buckets you need. I feel like that, and not that it's any lack of responsibility on the player's part. Don't get me wrong. But when you got a player like that, so again, somebody like a Melo, I feel like it's up to the organization to put the right kind of team around them. You know what I'm saying? That can win, because everybody's not LeBron, everybody's not Mike, everybody's not Kobe, everybody's not Shaq, everybody's not Tim Duncan. Like, you know what I'm saying? And even them, the Lakers had more talented teams before they won a championship. They had teams with Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel and Eldon Campbell, and you know what I'm saying? Like they had a season where they had 4 All-Stars, but for Kobe to become Kobe and for Shaq to be Shaq, they needed more role players around them. You know what I mean? Just kind of they needed a Derek Fisher to guard the point guard, shoot the 3, you know what I mean, space the floor, make smart decisions. You know what I'm saying? Even though Kobe was really the point guard on that team and then nobody give him credit for it. You know, he led him in assists, was a 5 or 6 assists a game guy. You know what I mean? You needed Rick Fox to play defense on the wing, you know, and hit open shots. Like that is, I feel like it's not strictly on the players. I feel like it's also up to the organization to understand what kind of player you have and what kind of team, you know what I mean, you need to put around him. So I say all that to say, like Cat, I feel like Mike Brown is the first coach that really kind of, and it took until the playoffs for it to happen for the most part. They say they've been working on this all season from what I read or whatever. So he already had it in the back of his mind, but it took for Mike Brown to unlock him in a way that nobody else had done. You know what I mean? And to give him a chance. The whole thing about Cat has always been that he's super skilled, right? You know what I mean? He not a Joel Embiid that's going to bang on a block like that, but he got a face-up game. He got a post-up game. He can shoot that thing. He can dribble. He can pass. I feel like this is the first time that somebody really put him in the position. And also, coming back to Brunson, to Big Body Brunson, he's more like obviously their games are not identical, but more like a Steph Curry. He going to get you some assists, but he's more of a bucket getter. But he can other people can eat off of him. You know what I mean? To a certain degree. He's not John Stockton. He's not Isaiah Thomas. He's not Magic Johnson. He's not Jason Kidd. But again, this is me giving Mike Brown credit for looking at his 2 best players and saying, you know what? This is what we need to do with them and for them. Not trying to say, this is what I've been doing. This is what's on my resume. This is how I coach. I feel like the best coaches, it's not about a system. It's about creating a system that works for the players that you got in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I kind of feel like the Knicks are at with that right now. And I'm Mike Brown. I was kind of, on the fence about him as a coach. I don't think he's a bad coach. I didn't think he was a great coach. But I feel like this playoff run, and you know what I mean, is really kind of showing his real basketball intellect. You know what I mean? Maybe it took for all these other things and all whether Sacramento, Cleveland, whatever, maybe it took for those situations for him to kind of get to where he is as a coach now. You know, but I do give him credit for looking at that team and figuring out a way to optimize the players on that team, even if it's not like necessarily traditional, you know what I mean, basketball or whatever the case may be.
You agree?
All right, everybody got a chance to speak on that, right?
No,
did you get a chance to speak, Ryan? Go ahead.
So I'm gonna take it back a little bit where Raj was at with it too, but I'm gonna swing things a little bit here. This New York Knicks team, dare I say, kind of reminds me of a team that y'all might not agree with. This team kind of reminds me of the Bad Boy Pistons, man. In a lot of ways, a lot of parallels I see with just the hustle, the scrappiness, the depth. You know what I'm saying? Like just maybe not a lot of similarities, but just a lot of parallels. I think that with this current system with Cat being like a point forward for the Knicks, I think they can win a championship playing like this. Again, I'm not going to say that they are going to win a championship, but I think that they can win a championship this year playing like this. I think that for one, I had a comment on Facebook somebody said Cleveland will win today, but even if Cleveland does win today, that series is over. It's done. But
It's over.
So it's gonna be the Knicks are going back to the finals for the first time since what 90.
So 99?
99, right? The lockout year. Yeah, the lockout year.
Yep.
So
the lockout year.
They returned to the finals this year. And they're gonna take on, we all know, either OKC or San Antonio. And I think that with this current system and how they playing and everything, I think that they could beat OKC or San Antonio. I truly do. And this is the reason why. We all know that OKC and San Antonio both have, saying two of the best shot blockers, anchoring their defenses at the 5. One of the best shot blockers in the league right now in Chet, and the best shot blocker probably in the history of the league already in Wemby.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy. I was having this conversation with my family the other night too, when we were kicking it about basketball, and I wasn't even thinking of the aspect of him playing like the point forward role that he been playing. But I was saying that to me, for New York in the finals against either one of those teams, the X factor is going to be Cat. Because if Cat is truly Cat and he's firing on all cylinders and he's hitting that 3 at a high clip, you force Wemby and Chet to not be able to paint count. So now they have to, come out of that paint. And if you forcing them to come out of that paint, you opening it up for Jalen Brunson to be able to do the same thing that he doing to James Harden. They can hunt, and until they get the weakest, defender to guard him, and he just put him in the blender. So that could be a recipe for success for them against either one of these teams, but it would be truly on the X factor, Cat Williams, Lord have mercy. who is known to say that he was a great basketball player.
Jalen Brunson is an industry plant.
Said Cat Williams.
I am a better basketball player than Jalen Brunson. He's a league plant.
Carl gonna have to be that X factor though, for sure. Carl Anthony Towns, he's gonna have to be that X factor, and it's gonna continue with the playing the point forward role, ball handling and distributing. But he's gonna have to hit that shot. He's gonna have to hit that shot at a high clip. He's just gonna have to be him. He's gonna have to be, he's gonna have to be Carl Anthony Towns, like that first overall pick. And I feel like if he plays at that level that Mike Brown currently has him playing at right now, and the New York Knicks continue to play the way they're playing as a cohesive unit, Mikal Bridges has all of a sudden finally found some type of offensive fucking rhythm. Finally, that I believe they contend with either one. They can contend and be successful against either one of these teams to come out of the West, because they are battle tested already, and they're deep enough, and they match up. So that's what I see it.
Like
All right. We're gonna keep it moving. Look, because I know Raj got to get to work, so I'm gonna try to, I don't want everybody to, kind of run off with this one. But again, this was a conversation that I saw taking place on First Take this morning. I'm just curious to see what y'all think about it, especially, Raj and Mike as New Yorkers. If Brunson wins the championship this year, is he the greatest Knick of all time?
I was hoping you'd bring this up because I seen that shit this fucking morning and was like, what the actual fuck are we talking about? I was gonna throw it in the chat,
Go
but
ahead,
damn
Mike.
it,
You go first. You go first, Mike.
damn it, listen. I'm gonna tell you this. I won't say he's the greatest Nick ever, but he will become the greatest Nick of this generation.
Absolutely.
He would have been the catalyst for bringing something to New York that we ain't seen, that I haven't seen in my lifetime. You know, and Raj can tell you his uncle, Mayor Harvey of Newburgh, is one of the biggest Nick fans on the planet
of all time.
I got another buddy. I think Raj knows him too, Johnny Durrell. This man, when he watches the Knicks, bro, yo, there's been videos his wife has posted of him like this in front of the screen, just like he bleeds Knicks, right? So you have, you know, I would say the greatest Nick ever and most renowned is probably Walt Frazier, right? But you know, because we know that man can't go nowhere without giving respect for what he did. But in terms of right now, current era, he will be, as it stands right now, the greatest Nick for this time period ever. I'm not ready to do that. Now, if we start talking, you're able to somehow put two or three together. Now we're entering another stratosphere. That, and if you could put together an MVP, you know, I don't know if he was. I don't think he was a candidate this year. And correct me if I'm wrong, but
No.
I don't even think for him as a Nick, people care about the individual accolades. But if you can get one championship, and we'll start there. But if you can string together another two or three in your time, he's in the discussion. So to answer the question fully, all time, no. For this era, if he does it, yes. And some might even argue he's already there for the uplifting he's brought for the Knicks the last few years he's been there.
Go ahead, Raj. You got it.
I gotta say this, Mike, and we know the same type of Knicks fans. Listen, and we grew up in areas where people would die for the Knicks. They would literally die. They'll put their life on the line for the Knicks, right?
I believe it. You say motherfuckers getting their shirt ripped off.
Brunson. That's what I'm saying. It's that bad. If Jalen Brunson win a NBA championship for this city, for the state of New York, not even the city, for the state of New York, let me tell you, he's the greatest Knick of all time. And I'm going to tell you why. Because of the Jordan era. The Jordan era absolutely killed the Knicks. If you ask me, the Knicks team that they had during the Jordan era was probably up there where this Knicks team is now, right? And I'm not saying that in a disrespectful manner, but I'm saying like they had that, like they were that team to fear. And the East was that conference to fear, because that was around, that was the time of the bad boy Pistons, like I said, the New York Knicks, Chicago Bulls, you had the Indiana Pacers, you had that.
Cleveland
The East was like
Atlanta Hawks, Milwaukee Bucks, Philadelphia 76ers,
the Atlanta Hawks. Yes, it was a scary conference. It was brutal because it was physical. Their players, they had like Hall of Fame players all around. So with that being said, and it's bad because I even heard him say that this is a cakewalk because of the way that they're destroying teams and the injuries and the matchups and all this other bull crap. ESPN is wilding. But what I'm saying is, if Jalen Brunson comes home with that freaking championship, they're building a freaking statue outside of Madison Square Garden for him. He's the greatest Knick of all time because he did it in a way where he destroyed the best team. If it comes out San Antonio or if it comes out OKC, that is the greatest team we have seen in this finals. So with that being said, I get what you're saying, Mike, with Walt Frazier, but Walt never put up the numbers that Jalen Brunson's putting off in the playoffs. Walt was more of a traditional point guard, but they're going to build a statue for Jalen. That's my answer, man. They're just going to go crazy. They're going to lose their freaking mind, and I'm actually scared because there's a chance, the possibility of that actually happening.
Well, and the other thing is too, you brought up people talking about who they've played, and you know, I kind of don't like that argument. So it has relevance, but at times with certain situations, but I don't like that argument in a sense because people act like the other team can control who they play. Like Knicks aren't controlling who they play. You know, Boston didn't handle their business against the Sixers at the end of the day. You know, the Sixers didn't even show up to play against the Knicks. Like, you know, you had Joel Embiid, yeah, man, don't sell your tickets. You know, we don't need you. And then you got swept. Then you have Paul George. Yeah, Paul George crying when the fans is calling him Podcast Pete. Like, you know, and now you look here to and then you look here to Cleveland, and it's just like, all right, y'all done more than we expected. Like, because, you know, we always be like, Cleveland going to be fourth, and then they ain't going to do shit in the playoffs. Second round at most, and that was being nice. But this year they got to the conference finals. And, you know, but you right. You're right. Like in terms, I answered that in terms of a basketball fan, right? Like, I'm not a Knicks fan. Yeah. So I can't answer that as a Knicks fan. But you kind of met the medium. But I wouldn't deny it. They'll be ready for that statue. They'll be ready for that statue. That's 110%.
They're building that freaking statue.
And just one more thing for R&B goes. They were asking Donovan Mitchell the other day. They were asking Donovan Mitchell the other day, right? About how he felt after the loss and what have you. My man said that Knicks fans are like Cowboy fans. I was like, damn. This really did Knicks fans that dirty. Compared them to Cowboy fans.
Can I say something before Ryan goes?
Yep. Well, one more thing.
Go ahead and wrap it up, Mike. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The only argument I'm gonna give you, Donovan Mitchell, you ain't probably never gonna watch this, but I'm gonna say it, is Knicks fans right now are not senile like Cowboy fans. Cowboy fans are senile in the offseason. We went to the Super Bowl. Knicks fans right now can be crazy because at least they still in the playoffs. They one game away from the finals. All right, I'm done. Go ahead, bro.
Real quick before you go, Ryan. Two things. I hate the fucking Cowboys. I hate their fans more. But what I can say about the Cowboys versus the Knicks, the Cowboys have won far more recently than the Knicks have. It's been 1 year for the Cowboys. The Knicks ain't won shit since before the NBA merger. The San Antonio Spurs, the Denver Nuggets, the Indiana Pacers, they weren't even in the fucking league the last time the Knicks won something. And Knicks fans get to talking almost every year like the Knicks is about to do. Knicks fans, what did you just say, Raj? Y'all can't celebrate outside of Madison Square Garden no more because y'all celebrating first and second round wins. Like it's, you know,
second, ripping titties out.
So you know, I'm not gonna say one is better or worse. I think they all just delusional as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's all I wanted to say.
You're right.
I want to say this real quick to add on to that. Will, you're 1,000% right because every year they win in the championship in their mind. They'll tell you that. Am I right or wrong, Mike?
Yeah, no, right.
This is the year.
I had to hear that for 41 years. Yo, we going to the championship from my uncle. Every freaking year. I'm like, yo, you guys don't even have a championship roster. So with that being said, they're just as delusional, but I don't like the comparison when it comes down to Cowboy fans, because Cowboy fans, I'm not going to go there, but you know what it is.
I hate the Cowboys more than I hate the Knicks. I'll say
that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's that extra little sprinkle of good old boy in there that I don't like.
Should sound like the pot trying to call the kettle black to me. Sound like two sets of delusional retards. Because
that's the point I was making, bro.
I'm trying to figure out what era here in between 99 up to now was your uncle ever saying we gonna win the championship this year? Them teams
and they wasn't gonna win it in 99
every year.
Right. They wasn't gonna win it in 99. They was the 8 seed. They had a hell of a run.
Didn't they get
They had a hell of a run, but they wasn't gonna win that in 99.
They wasn't gonna win it.
Them teams was trash, man. Even the teams that were stockpiled with talent that would later go on to be talented in other places. Your Eddie Currys and what I'm saying, all of them. I think Zach Randolph at one point. You know what I'm saying? Players that were going to be talented players in other franchises when they were together with the Knicks.
Jamal Crawford,
trash. So I'm trying to figure out what era was your uncle talking about we gonna win the championship this year?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I can't even give you that. Every era.
He thought Steph and Eddie Curry and Jamal Crawford and Nick and Steve Francis was about to get y'all a chip.
I'm telling you, it's another level of delusion. And trust me, I'm a person that calls it out. I call a spade when I see it. I'll tell them that your team is trash. But that's why I also said this is the best team I've seen in my lifetime. Because
I agree with that.
This is the first time I actually believe in everyone's role versus it being you got one star, because they thought the Melo era was going to be it. Every era was it. So I don't know. It's just bad.
That's because they traded half their roster for Melo. If Melo would have just waited to the summer and the Knicks would have just waited to the summer and he just would have signed as a free agent, I'm not saying they'd have won a chip, but they'd have been way better off.
I agree.
But to answer the question though, because I hate to even hear these answers coming from two New Yorkers who are not even Knicks fans. Fucking Brooklyn Nets garage, like fuck out of here. Jump ship to they sorry asses.
Listen.
If Jalen Brunson delivers a championship this year,
at least I'm standing on my square with it.
I give you that much. If he delivers a championship this year or somewhere within the next couple of years, Jalen Brunson will obviously be the greatest Knick of all time. I'm sorry. And that's no disrespect to the great Patrick Ewing, but we all know Patrick Ewing's career didn't go as well as it could have gone because of the knees. He wasn't the same for a while there. And what I'm saying, it just didn't pan out the way that, toward the latter years, the way he, maybe wanted it to. Was he on that 99 team when they went to the finals?
Yeah, but he got hurt.
Had he already? Yeah,
he got hurt that year. That was the season that they traded for Spreewell. That was the season they traded for Spreewell. So it was Spreewell, Allen Houston, Charlie Ward. Fuck was Oak was no LJ. Because LJ hit the end one against Indiana in the conference finals. He made the 4-point play. You know what I'm saying? LJ was on that team. Yep. I think Oak still might have been on that team. Marcus Camby was on that team.
Camby,
So Ewing getting hurt actually kind of helped Camby, you know what I mean? Just be who he needed to be for them. Yeah.
So it then with Walt Frazier, you know what I'm saying, was that the bygone era, 1973. Like you said, he's never put up the type of numbers, being the era he played in, but he don't have the numbers to match up against Brunson. All he hold over him is the championship. So when you put together what Brunson has done for you guys since he's been there, pulling this franchise out of mediocrity and obscurity, becoming an all-star level MVP caliber player, revitalizing this franchise, the numbers. If he wins the championship, that's all he needs at this point, if you ask me. because I feel like he's checked all the other boxes, and if one is just the goal, just to match, and I beat you in every other category, that would definitely have to make him the greatest Nick of all time. So that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah. It for me, it ain't a hill I'm gonna die on one way or the other because I don't fuck with the Knicks like that, no way. But you know what I mean? You know, in a general sense, I try to keep it to people I've seen play with my own two eyes. If he wins a championship this season, which I don't think they will, but if they do, I still don't think he's the greatest Knick of all time. I would still have Patrick Ewing ahead of him. Now if he only been in New York. This is what, his fourth season in New York, third season in New York.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to be the greatest in any team's history, and you don't only play 3 or 4 years for them. You know what I'm saying? It's a few teams out there that you could pull that shit off with. Don't get me wrong, but with like
this is what he's done in this short.
Go ahead.
Can I push back on that just a little bit?
Go ahead.
I think there's an exception. The reason why I'm saying it is because like Kawhi Leonard, right? When he went to Toronto Raptors, I have friends in Toronto. They swear by it that Kawhi is the greatest Raptor to ever exist, and he only played one season because he won the chip. So
I think that's why I didn't say it was impossible. I said it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard, and I said there are some exceptions.
Oh, okay.
I said that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and again, I understand why Toronto fans would say that. Being Toronto fans and being passionate, as an objective observer, one season, I get it, championship, all that. I still wouldn't say that he's the greatest Raptor of all time. I still wouldn't.
To me, that's the starter.
I would say either Vince Carter, DeMar DeRozan, or Kyle Lowry. For me, it's one of them three, depending on how you feel. I'm probably gonna go with Vince. I know Lowry and DeRozan had more success. I know Kawhi won the championship. You know what I'm saying? But Kawhi won. He was there 1 year, but he got an organization and an entire country, because that's the other thing with Toronto too. When you talk about the Raptors, they don't just represent Toronto; they represent the entire country of Canada. I can get why they would feel that way. Which again, and to tie it into this, I can understand why Knicks fans under a certain age would feel that way about Jalen Brunson. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I get it. I watched Patrick Ewing for 14 seasons. You know what I'm saying? Be a dog as a New York Knick. And so that's why for me it's kind of And you know, Willis Reed won too. He got the game, the most historic game in Knicks history, where nobody thought he was gonna play, and he came limping out the locker room. You know what I'm saying? After 4 minutes into the first quarter, and didn't score but 8 points, I think, that game, if I'm remembering this right. But that's part of the lore of the Knicks. Like, I don't think there's necessarily a right or a wrong answer. I can make the point for a handful of different people, in my personal opinion. I don't think there is a right or a wrong answer, but I think it all depends on kind of like how old you are, what generation you grew up watching. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel about that. All right. Let's keep it going. So next topic up. My bad, y'all. I know what it is. I got it. No, my screen had blacked out on me, so I had to, put my pen and everything back in, or whatever the case may be. I know what the next question is. So did anybody get a chance to watch that Kenny Atkinson video that I put in the thread?
I seen the same video on TV.
Yeah. Okay. So I just this is my question. Look, I am not anti-analytics, but I hate when people try to present analytics as if it's the end-all be-all to basketball. Because you can I believe there is value in it. Like, even when I was hooping like that, I knew where my spots were on the floor. I knew where I shot well from and where I didn't. So I tried to get to my spots. You know what I'm saying? There is value in it, but basketball is not algebra. You know what I'm saying? You can give me all this information, but I still got to go out there and execute and make it happen. I was just curious to hear what y'all was thinking about what he had to say about that. And Stephen A brought it up this morning on First Take. He was saying like that's basically why Daryl Morey got fired from Houston, because after they lost that series to Golden State, he tried to go to their owner, Fertitta, and say, well, basically, based on the analytics, we won the series. We just lost it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Who in the fuck wants to hear that?
He did. I'd have fired his ass right there. You fired.
Man, you hear what I'm saying? So I was just curious to hear y'all thoughts on this. Mike, if you want to go first, you can go ahead. Did Mike step away? Go ahead, Raj. I think Mike stepped away. Go ahead, Raj.
No. I'm gonna be very quick. When it boils down to analytics, I think it's important to understand certain things about analytics. But that Kenny Atkinson comment, he's got to have some type of CTE. He's got to have some type of CTE, because how in the hell did you win a series but also lose it at the same time? Yes, you can have all the perfect numbers. Did you win the actual game? The answer is no. So you guys lost, and that's all that matters. So, in my opinion, I think that Kenny Atkinson is going to be fired, and they're probably going to find a way to get rid of James Harden as well, because that is a brain damaged answer, and I really don't know why he even said that.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Ryan.
Kenny Ack probably out of there, man. He probably out of there. He probably talked himself out of a job.
Yeah.
Excuse me, with that stupid ass shit, man. That analytics shit, like you said, I'm not gonna say there's no place for it in the game, because it is a place for it in the game, but it's not the end all be all like motherfuckers be trying to make it out to be. Like, come on, dude. You got Harden out here in the blender against Jalen Brunson. Why? Why? Because of analytics.
Because the Pistons didn't show them the round before that's what the fuck was going to happen in next round too. That's why.
Like the shit is. When I watched that game and I saw how Jalen Brunson was going at Harden in game, I think it was game 1 when they made the comeback. And that, to me, that's where they discovered it at, because they carried it over in the game 2. It started in game 1 when they made the comeback. I'm like, how do they keep letting Harden end up one-on-one against Brunson like that? Like, they literally hunting this shit and they not making no adjustment to do nothing about it. They just living with it. That's a fireable offense, man. We all know the history of the Matador Defender and James Harden. That's his new nickname, the Matador Defender. he gonna be one of them players that go down in history with multiple nicknames. The Matador Defender.
We calling him Olay from now on.
the Olay choker. Olay.
Oh man,
like that shit. It's crazy, man. But I don't get it. He definitely has coached himself out of a job, in my opinion. And the only thing that saved him so far, prolonged him, another week and a half, is the fact that JB Bickerstaff couldn't get his shit together when we were playing against them motherfuckers. Other than that, he'd probably be on the free agent block right now. He'd probably already be out of there if the Pistons would have took care of business. So, that's how I look at it, man. That analytics shit, Daryl Morey is overrated. Don't get me wrong, he's done some good shit. He's done some good shit as a GM. He's put together some good teams in Houston. He's tried in Philly, but they've had a lot of injury woes and stuff like that. So I can't count the injury woes against him. But the dumb moves that he's made, I can count against him. You know what I'm saying? The dumb shit that he's done. You know what I'm saying? And then we all know the whole history of him and Harden getting into it there in Philly before Harden, forced his way out of Philly. So that's why Daryl Morey doesn't have a job anymore. So again,
I got 2 questions for y'all. Number 1, and I ain't saying this to be funny or to make myself sound like an old ass man, But do y'all remember when it was Tito Santana and Rick Martel in the Strike Force, and then Tito Santana became El Matador after they broke up? James Harden is El Matador. Tito Santana, El Matador. Tito Santana in the Strike Force was cold. Intercontinental champion, you know what I'm saying? Tag team champion, El Matador. You know what I'm saying? Not so much. That's number one. That's the first question. My second question is Daryl Morey the Doc Rivers of general managers and front office people? Because we've seen Daryl Morey put teams together that really should not have been competitive. You know what I'm saying? And competed and made playoffs and whatever the case may be. And we've also seen the teams that had all kind of talent fucking crumbled and fell apart and wasn't as successful as they probably should have been. Is he the fucking Doc Rivers of front office people?
I don't know if I give him that title because as much as I despise Doc Rivers, at least Doc Rivers does have 3 finals appearances and 1 championship.
Yeah,
Daryl Morey don't even have that. So I don't know if I could really give him that title. I would say he's worse. I'm trying to think of somebody that would be. You know what? Daryl Morey is the Stan Van Gundy of general managers. That's who
I hate Stan. I fucking hate Stan.
Yo, I'll say this because I gotta run. But I was gonna say exactly what R&B said when it comes down to Daryl Morey and Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers at least got some type of championship. See, Daryl Morey, he's the type of you know who Daryl Morey is? Daryl Morey's like either, like you said, Jeff Van Gundy or Jerry Sloan. Stan Van Gundy or Jerry Sloan. I don't believe Jerry Sloan ever won the championship. Is that correct?
No, but he got to the finals twice. With 2 teams that probably shouldn't have been in the finals.
And I take that back. The Boozer and Darren Williams years before him and Darren Williams. Before Darren Williams basically had him ran out the city.
Yeah, he did. He really did though. Yeah. But I'm saying like he's in that realm of like GMs or compared to coaches to GMs. Like he'll get you, he'll put together a playoff team that's worth coming and watch. You know, he'll put Dwight Howard on the floor, he'll put Chris Paul with James Harden, but damn it, they're not going out of it. They're not making it out of the Western Conference.
That Chris Paul team,
they're not going far.
In fairness, the Houston team that had Chris Paul, they had a really good chance at beating Golden State, but Chris Paul, like he do a lot in the fucking playoffs, ended up injured. You know what I'm saying? And missed Game 6 and Game 7. That don't mean that James Harden wasn't supposed to come out and ball. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But
and you know, and not to, it's how do I want to quantify this? I can't even blame the Chris Paul injury for losing to the 17 Warriors. I can't. When I look at the box score and I see you lose by 1 point, and I see you shoot 0 for 26 from 3.
And Josh Smith and Corey Brewer had to get you back into that game because you was on the bench with a towel over your head. You had gave up. You was making your summer trip plans, nigga. You on the bench like, man, am I going to Paris? Am I going to Jamaica? You know what I'm saying? Barbados. What we about to get into? You know what I'm saying?
You talking about when they came back against the Clippers?
Oh, my bad. You right. That was the Clippers. I wasn't going to say that was the Clippers. You right. My bad. Same shit though.
I got to run, fellas. Same shit. 0 for 26 from 3.
All right, Raj, take it easy, bro.
It's crazy.
Do your thing, bro.
All right.
Yeah, he got to work on Memorial Day.
Yeah, he said it's one of the holidays he got to work.
Damn.
Yeah, it'd be rough. Like his work, it'd always be a holiday. He gotta go to work. Like, damn. Yeah, no. I wanted to say real quick, I had a random knock at the door. Some guy, an exterminator. I'm like, bro, I don't need no exterminator. Like, the fuck?
The night you go see a big ass spider and a mouse. So
yeah, exactly. My issue.
No. Mike answered it though, like, oh, so you see a black man at the door, you assuming nigga got roaches, huh? I see what this is. Hell off my porch.
Well, yeah, because they knocked and I was expecting a package. I'm like, I only ordered a phone case. The hell you got to knock for? And then I just seen a dude with a cowboy hat. And I'm like, what the hell? How did we get here?
That nigga might have been trying to set you up, man.
Yeah, you know, so. But I heard that question.
Around the cowboy hat. What type of shit is that?
Daryl Morey. The only thing that's made me distrust him is that he had so much trust in James Harden, even after it didn't work multiple times. Like, they always found their way back to one another. You know, like, it's like, bro, just give up on James Harden. But I agree with that sentiment. He's like Stan Van Gundy.
We had our Stan Van phase in Detroit, so we know all about that.
Oh my goodness,
man! All right, I know we running up against the time, so I'm gonna try to keep it moving. I only got a couple more things I wanted to check in with y'all about.
Let's do it.
We ain't got to go through like each individual award or whatever the case may be. But I just wanted to check in with y'all thoughts about, the regular season awards in the NBA. You know what I mean? From MVP, All NBA, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. Was there anything? Was there anybody that y'all felt like should have, maybe not even necessarily gotten an award, but you feel like didn't necessarily get the credit they deserve to at least be in the conversation? If you can go ahead and start first, Ryan.
We all already know how I felt about the Jaylen Brown when it came to the MVP award. Like I wouldn't say that he should have won it here at the end in the final voting or nothing like that. But I do feel like they kind of hold him the way they knocked him down the pole when it came to that award this year for what he did in Boston this year. And that's something I feel like we definitely need to touch on maybe next week, the whole little shit with him and Stephen A and shit like that, and that whole little saga going on. Probably need to touch on
Stephen A, Stephen B, Stephen C.
But as y'all know, my father had passed away, and I've been dealing with a lot of funeral stuff this past week and weekend. So I know that Wemby won Defensive Player of the Year, and I know that Shea won MVP, but I haven't really had a chance to keep up on like the all NBA stuff and the Rookie of the Year. So if y'all can kind of enlighten me, and then I can kind of give you my thoughts on it, Okay. But, as far as MVP, I'm cool with Shea. I definitely would say Shea was deserving again to bring home the award. I wouldn't have been mad if Wemby would have got it either, though. I definitely feel like Wemby, made a strong push there, and I understand why he was upset that he didn't get it. But I think the one thing, and y'all know, I like Shea. I ain't gonna say I'm an OKC guy. I like Shea. I don't hate OKC. I just hate all the, the weird shit that be going on around their locker room, the shit that they be on. I'm not a fan of it. But outside of that, Shea is the perfect superstar. You know what I'm saying? Like he carries himself with the Kobe Mike demeanor. He has the confidence. He plays defense. He's efficient. He can score. You know what I'm saying? He is the pure example of the perfect superstar in today's NBA, if you ask me. So and then the way he goes about it, going out there, you know what I'm saying, getting the assists, getting the points. I definitely think he was right there and deserving of the MVP. Now the one thing that I am going to push back on, which I've heard a couple people allude to as far as his MVP case, I'm tired of people. I'm tired of people saying Shea is a point guard. I just don't see it. I think he's a 2 guard that goes out and gets assists. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a scoring guard that gets assists. Just because you get assists does not make you a point guard. Just because you handle the ball does not make you a point guard. You know what I'm saying? It's a job and a level of a job to be a point guard and to do point guard shit. So that would be my pushback a little bit on Shea. But other than that, I think he's a hell of a 2 guard, a hell of a scorer, and a hell of a MVP. And trying to put together back-to-back MVP seasons and NBA championships. And I think he'd be the first to do it since would it be Kobe?
Well, back-to-back MVPs?
No, Jordan. Back-to-back MVP, back-to-back championship.
Jordan.
No, I was like, Kobe only won one MVP.
Yeah, because so Kobe only won one MVP. Yeah.
Not that he didn't deserve more, but you know, that's another conversation for another day. Real quick before you jump in, Mike. So Ryan, first team was Shea, Wemby, Joker, Cade, and Luka. Second team, Jaylen Brown, Kawhi, Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, Jalen Brunson. Third team, Maxey, Jamal Murray, Johnson from Atlanta, Jalen Duren, and Chet Holmgren.
Hold on, Jamal Murray made a third team? Where Roger? Not the scrub and the guy that's not a killer.
I don't know if you had checked in yet when I mentioned that. Like, no, like, bro, like it's you know what I'm saying? But
Raj likes to discredit Murray to credit Joker. That's what I've noticed.
That's what I said that baby was already.
That's what he likes to do.
He act like Joker playing with the 06 Cavs. You know what I'm saying? Or the 07 Cavs. Let me correct myself. He act like Joker playing with the 07 Cavs. Like Mo Williams is his second best player or some shit like that.
So Mo Williams and Barajal.
And old ass, what was the old dude, the center?
Drew Gooden?
No, not Ilgauskas. Young Ilgauskas was nice. He was on the end of his career. You know what I'm saying? He was at the tail end of his career.
He was done.
But I gotta shoot out of here myself, fellas. But I'm gonna just get real quick before I shoot out because I gotta just got an emergency call. Gotta take care of something. But to get my thoughts real quick before I get out of here, I think, which I kind of already alluded to this in the MVP conversation, I think where I would change at, and some may disagree, y'all may disagree, I'm knocking Luka down to second team and I'm putting Jaylen Brown in first. You know what I'm saying? And for obvious reasons. I know Luka put together a hell of a season. I know he averaged like 30 plus points a game, but for him to miss the time that he did and then was not able to make it back also for the playoffs and everything was kind of transcended over to the AR and LeBron. We're really LeBron for a point in time before AR got back. And, you know what I'm saying, for them to, you know, just go on and do what they did. And Boston went on to do what they did, even though they eventually lost that series to Philly. This man still, you know, got them to the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference this year without Jason Tatum. So for that, and just his performance overall, for that, I would probably switch that. I would put him on the first team, and I would have to take Luka down to the second team just off of the time that he missed. Now, if Luka finished the season out, you know, was healthy, and you know, it still played out the same way, then I wouldn't have any pushback on that at all. But just to see how it played out, I would probably switch those two around, and that would really kind of be my only critique on it.
I agree with you.
Absolutely.
And I know Luka and Cade both played 64 games, but to me, it wasn't the same 64 games.
No,
Cade had already got his team out to, you know what I mean, the number 1 seed, or, you know, fighting for the number 1 seed. when he got hurt near the end of the season. Whereas Luka missed more games across the season, and the Lakers still kind of, you know what I mean, held their own when they, you know what I mean, when they needed to.
Yeah.
So I agree. I agree with that. I ain't mad at that at all.
Yeah, no,
What you think, Mike?
I think in terms of the awards themselves, MVP, SGA, can't go wrong with that. I mean, you could have put Wemby there, Luca, whomever, but in terms of the consistency through the season, I think that's why he won. Personally, Rookie of the Year was Cooper Flag. I won't say I'm surprised, but I think, if I'm not mistaken,
I might have went con.
I was just saying,
I didn't pay attention to that.
Didn't the Hornets made the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, they did.
So to me, I mean, that kind of shifted the balance for Khan for me personally, because he was a big part of them getting there, because that man was coming out and shooting.
You know what might have shifted it though? He had a bad playoff run. He didn't shoot well in the playoffs at all, and
that's
that might
true.
have shifted it.
But he made the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think I'll say this: if Knipple would have won Rookie of the Year, I would not have been mad at it at all. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But you could also make the case that he was the fourth best player on his team. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And Cooper, every night he went out there, everybody was trying to stop him and shut him down as a rookie.
Yeah.
So for me, it's you know what I mean. I'm not mad at it either way. Because part of me feels like if you put Cooper and Charlotte, they absolutely make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Because he got better talent around him. And I just feel like he's the better player. The best player don't always win Rookie of the Year. Don't get me wrong. When we see these careers go on and we kind of see, end up saying who's the best player out of these draft classes or whatever the case may be. But that's one. That's really like a coin. That was really a coin flip for me. I can't be mad at nobody for voting either way in this particular situation.
Right.
Absolutely. Defensive player Victor Wembanyama kind of went without saying. Sixth man of the year.
No argument for that.
No
argument there for that.
Sixth man of the year was Keldon Johnson. That man was balling off the bench for San Antonio all season. Most improved was Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I had him on my fantasy in basketball, so I seen it. Even though I wasn't like watching their games, like I just see the stats. It's just like dude was doing what he does.
He's been pretty consistent ever since he got to Atlanta. The thing is that they just needed to put a team together, and they when they made that move for McCollum at the trade deadline. And we saw the emergence of Johnson this year. Atlanta definitely can be a scary team going forward, depending on how they decide to build around that. I know it was reported that CJ McCollum is retired. We were talking about this the other day, but it seems like he's still being put out there as a possible free agent for teams. So I don't know whether Atlanta going to look into trying to bring him back, or will they try to get younger and go with some more depth talent. But Atlanta seems to be trending in the right direction with Nickeil Alexander and Johnson as the top two pieces.
Absolutely. They're working on something. And SGA got clutch player of the year. I
might could argue Jalen Brunson for that one.
Yeah.
I might could argue Jalen Brunson for that one, but I think who was number two? Was Jalen Brunson number two?
Hold on, I gotta look because
it could have been Cade too. I could probably throw Cade in the conversation for clutch player of the year too.
Let's see candidates.
That's one of the ones in any given season you can get a whole, all kinds of list of people, all kinds of list of players, depending on what happened in that given season.
Right.
For clutch player. Top contenders, it says here, was Jamal Murray. And he was the runner-up, Jamal Murray. Anthony Edwards and Cunningham.
Okay. I'm surprised not to see Jalen on that list, but all killers, all clutch players. We done seen clutch plays from all of them that you named this season for sure. Just very surprised not to hear Brunson name on that list though, because I feel like a lot of his clutch moments got highlighted the most this year.
Right.
You know what? The Knicks did kind of fall somewhat this year too. Now that I think about it, a lot of for the expectations that they had coming into this season, for them to only end up being, what were they, the third seed this year? Like a lot of people thought that they were going to be top two, and then the way they got handled by the Pistons in the season, you know what I'm saying, kind of took a lot of the light off of them per se in this season. So that's probably, why he kind of got forgotten out of that conversation. But again, no pushback on the names that you mentioned. Like we all know, outside of Raj, that Jamal Murray is definitely a killer in the clutch time. So
Raj must have knew we was about to say good stuff about Murray. That's why he signed off.
So he ducked out the side though.
He was already looking at that shit on his phone. Like, oh man, I don't want to talk about this clutch.
In terms of
oh my bad. Real quick, I just want to appreciate y'all, man, for checking up on me this past weekend, and appreciate my bro Will for showing up for me Saturday, man. But I do gotta run. I just got a quick emergency call, so I'm gonna catch base with y'all throughout the week. But it was a pleasure, and I'll see you guys next week, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro. I'm gonna hit you up.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes,
all
sir.
Right.
In terms of the all teams, I kind of agree with what R&B was saying, is just to move the two around. I mean, we can't include the people who were ineligible. LeBron wasn't eligible. Anthony Edwards wasn't eligible.
Edwards wasn't eligible. Right.
Yeah. Curry, Giannis. Four people that aren't eligible. But I think, not all things considering, like, I think they got it right. Minus that, Jaylen Brown should have been first instead of second because he carried the Celtics. I mean, when we started the season, you weren't with us yet, like full time. But I had alluded a lot to me personally, not expecting much from the Celtics. I expected sixth place, maybe play in, and they went out there and was like, nah. We ain't about that. We gonna compete. We gonna do what we do, and we gonna make it happen. And and not for nothing, they went 7 with Philly. I personally believe, Tatum's sitting game 7 hurt, but
most definitely.
But because to me, people are like, well, Brown could have done it. I'm like, you're right, he could have. But the thing was this. Tatum coming back into the lineup, their chemistry shifted a little bit. So it's hard to say, okay, he's out of game, the most important game of the series. Now we got to shift our chemistry back.
We got to go right back to
because it's not like he came back for the playoffs. He played some regular season games,
right?
And I mean, I for one was like, I don't know if you should do that, but then it looked like he never missed a beat. Like he came in, he was a little rusty, but then once he got his footing under him, he was the Tatum we knew.
I'm with you. I obviously didn't think that they was going to be the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, but I will say, like, I felt like for a couple of years now that we saw Jaylen Brown win Finals MVP. You know what I mean? Yeah. With Tatum on the floor with him as a teammate. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I did not feel like that team was going to fall apart per se this year. I felt like they were going to be competitive. Like you said, I felt like maybe 5th, 6th, seed, maybe in the play-in, whatever the case may be. But I did expect them to be competitive. I did not expect them to be the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. You know what I mean? So I did not. I can't sit here and pretend like I did. So I felt like he deserved a little more credit for that. But also too, this thing he got going on with the media. You know what I'm saying? Like that matters, whether people want to admit it or acknowledge it or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that players got to kiss the media ass, but the media does when they get a chance to hold that shit against you when they don't like you, they'll do it. They play them games and say, "Oh, I'm just a reporter. I just report the facts. And it's like, no, that's not the truth. And anybody who is a serious fan of sports understands that at this point. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who is a knowledgeable fan, they understand that at this point. I give you an example. I don't know if you watched all the First Take today, but Stephen A. Did you see the when he tweeted about Cleveland and that they need to bring LeBron back because they need somebody that really care and this, that, and the other?
Yeah.
And when Wendy is like, well, that's probably not going to happen because they will only be able to pay him $3 million and they can't really trade from it. And then Stephen will say, well, I never said that LeBron was supposed to be trying to go back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
I said Cleveland was, and it's like that. Well, look, like quit acting like every fan doesn't understand the difference between when you're reporting and when you're giving your opinion.
Yes.
And they're two very different things, and it matters. And that's something I had to figure out, you know what I mean, for myself. Because, sometimes I'm not reporting this. I'm not just Stephen A. Sometimes you hear them say, I'm not reporting this. I'm just, but a lot of times when they don't say I'm not reporting this, but they present it as an opinion, that opinion is coming from somewhere and from somebody that they got a relationship with. You know what I mean? That's telling them this shit. But he tried to, again, he be playing hopscotch. You know what I'm saying? He want to be on whatever side makes sense for him in the moment, but he always want to hold the players accountable. So,
Yeah, and it's just one of those things, like you just can't have it both ways. And people act like media don't have power, but think about it.
They do.
If you're a player and you have a terrible game, or you're a coach and you refuse to speak to the media, what happens? You get fined. If you go and you criticize referees to the media, what happens? You get fined. When it's time to pick those awards, those head honchos in media, Stephen A. is one of those names on the list who votes for that stuff. You guess what? You gotta play your role, because they understand, especially with basketball, there's a big difference when you make NBA first team versus NBA second.
Yep.
Like there's a big pay. There's a big difference. So,
Absolutely.
the media can utilize that to humble you. So you just, media is important, more important than they think, or more important than they want to give credit for.
But they're not as important as they think they are.
Yes.
Like there is no sports media without the league and without the players.
Without the sports. Yep.
Stephen A. is not the highest paid media personality without the NBA and without the NFL.
Right.
So that's a two-way street. You know what I'm saying?
And not to mention, on top of that, that's his foundation. So like now he has his own podcast. He has the political show he does. And he's been on General Hospital and other avenues. None of that happens without that foundation of the NFL, the NBA, or any league, or just sports as a whole. None of that happens.
And when ESPN fired him, what was that, about 10, 15 years ago, 10, 12 years ago, something like that?
Yeah.
And he went to Fox News. If Fox News was paying him as much as ESPN pays him, why'd he come back to ESPN to cover sports? You feel me?
That part.
Ain't nobody saying you're going to go broke without the NBA or the NFL. Ain't nobody saying that you're not going to have a career without them. But you are in the position that you're in, and due in a large part because of these leagues and these players. Because there's no league. Even I say this about the owners too. You don't have. I know a lot of times the owners struggle with players' personalities and egos, because whatever business that they owned or operated before, or businesses, because some of them is multiple.
Right.
There's nobody in any of those businesses that's as important to that business as a LeBron or a Kobe or a Shaq or a Steph or a Giannis or a KD or, you know what I mean, whoever you want to name. It's a lot easier. And in real life, it's really hard to replace those people. When you talking about like the top shelf of sports and athletics, no, it's only how many of them out of 8, 9, 10 billion people in the world?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, exactly. Like, how many we got here?
So it's a lot easier to find another Stephen A than it is to find another LeBron.
That's a fact.
No matter how Stephen A feels about that shit. So,
Exactly. You're right. You know, and that's just how it is. You know, it's like the same thing I said earlier when we were talking about OKC. You got a greater chance of finding renting role players than being able to afford another star player.
Another,
you know, and it's weird because there's a hip hop duo up here. They go by the name the Hoodies. They're two brothers, and they're real good. And you know, I've met them, and I like the younger brother's a little cooler than the older brother. The older brother's kind of got like a little attitude to him. But the younger brother's very knowledgeable for being like 20, very knowledgeable. And he had said in this interview I was watching with them earlier, or a clip, he had said everyone uses everybody. Like, you know, like, and if you're not being used, you know, he's like, you can use me, but don't misuse me. You know, like that's the thing. And what people have to realize in this world is the media's job is relying on the sports. Sports don't necessarily have to rely on the media, but it does help them, right? Because like in certain aspects, people are gonna get their story out there, get their name out there. You know, like, you know, if you go and let's say you sign an endorsement for sneakers, well, guess what? You taking pictures, you making commercials, that's media attention. So media helps you perpetuate your career in other ways. So I think they got to get to an understanding where we need them and they need us. But if we work together instead of work apart, we'll get more out of it.
Did you see Nick Wright? He did a stream about all of this, and he was basically saying like Stephen A need to quit acting like he's equal to the NBA players in stature. You know what I mean? And he was talking about, he like everybody know that Stephen A is getting a crazy bag from ESPN right now, whatever the case may be. But you compare his bag to NBA players, he might be the 40th or 50th highest paid player in the NBA. He's more important to ESPN than the 40th or 50th highest paid player in the NBA is to the NBA. But it's still, there's a gap between, you need them. Basically, Nick Wright was saying, you need them, we need them. This is what Nick Wright is saying. We need them more than they need us. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And that's what it comes down to. Is that, you know, he's got to really like think about it and kind of humble himself about it. Like, bro, we get it, but like you gotta chill with some of this stuff, man. Like, for real.
That's
got chill and take a step back.
That's a big part of the reason why I've stopped watching First Take when Skip was still on the show. Because it's like both of these motherfuckers is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I know they're trying to get their ratings. I get it's a TV show and it's entertainment and all that, whatever. But don't whenever you go out here and speak on somebody's name a certain kind of way, don't act like you don't understand why they got a problem with that. Whether it's Skip was calling Russell Westbrook, right? And that's that man's real name, Westbrook. You literally playing with that man's name, not in the figurative sense that we tend to use it nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
you literally playing with this man's name and act like you don't understand why he pissed off and frustrated and upset about the shit. Like, man, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
get the fuck out of here.
What are we
But
doing?
when anybody say anything about y'all, it's I'm just doing my job, or I'm just speaking on what the greats tell me. I'm just nigga. But when you don't agree with them, do you still come out and speak your opinion, right?
Yeah.
But when you want to try to protect it, but when you want to try to protect yourself, it's this is what the greats told me. Like, man, no, quit playing them games, bro.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
And eat it too. Yep.
Like you just it's just not gonna work. If people don't get that, players don't understand that. You know, like it's just like it's just like they got to come to a balance. That's the key. Come to a balance and an understanding that everyone's got a job to do. Everyone's got a passion and a purpose, and we have to do what we have to do to get there. Like
I don't know another area or arena in life where you don't have to be accountable for what you say and what you do.
Hey,
right.
Where it's just like, hey, it's my job. I'm just doing my job.
I had to come back in real quick, fellas. I had to come back in. I'm getting dressed though, so I'm on my phone. But hearing what y'all was just talking about, bro, and it made me think about the old legendary Jalen Rose.
Oh, when he went at Skip.
When he went at Skip. Remember how Skip was about that shit? How many points did you score in high school?
Right.
Oh, you know
on the JV team.
That's a low point.
On the JV team. Didn't even play varsity.
Yeah. You knew he knew that was a low point. That was something personal. Did he try to say he got hurt or some shit like that? Like, man, shut the fuck up.
He tried to say a bunch of bullshit. And if you remember, Jalen Rose wasn't on First Take for a while after that because Skip was in his feelings.
Skip was in his feelings like a motherfucker about that shit. So, like, yeah, man, that they try to wear a double standard, and that's why people not rocking with them the way we used to rock with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, because people got hip to that shit and started seeing it for what it truly was. Like I've been saying for a long time, when it comes to Stephen A. Smith, I say he one of them niggas that they put on TV to give real takes, real unreal takes about real shit that don't make sense.
My belief is that, especially Stephen A. and then Skip to a certain degree, I feel like they were who they were before First Take, but First Take kind of started taking off the way it did, and then they both became caricatures of themselves because it's entertainment, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, and it's all about the ratings.
It's to me, it ain't a celebrity out here that ain't or shit. Not even we ain't even gotta go celebrity. I don't think it's a person out here that everybody is who they are before any type of success. Sometimes it just take those meetings, seeing those checks and those zeros and stuff like that. With everybody, I know all of y'all on here. I know Will has because we joke about the shit. I know y'all done seen the Temptations movie and shit. So we remember that classic part where they started to get into the part at the I got something for your asses. I got something for your asses with David Ruffin, where he's sitting on the back of the bus and Otis in the memoir says, like, little do we know that, you know what I'm saying, the money would show us, exactly who David Ruffin truly was. You know what I'm saying? So you right about that. But motherfuckers get to that money and they see them checks and stuff and they start to embellish it. Kanye was Kanye before his mama passed away. But after his mama passed away and then that money and other motherfuckers started getting involved, he enhanced that Kanye. So that's how that world works, man. I say it all the time. That's a different world from where we come from.
Hey, to me, the shit is like wrestling. You know what I mean? The best characters are not, especially at this point in time. You know what I mean? Back in the day, it was superheroes, and they tried to do, you know what I mean, the people who had real jobs but were still wrestling on superstars on Saturday morning, which didn't make no fucking sense to me when I was 7, 8 years old. Why the fuck is Duke the Dumpster Drosy, you know what I mean, a garbage man Monday through Friday, but on Saturday morning on Superstars, you know what I'm saying? He beating up jobbers and shit. Like
nails and shit.
Yeah. I feel like these media personalities nowadays, I do feel like Stephen A. is Stephen A., but he is an exaggerated version of himself. Skip was Skip, but he's an exaggerated version of himself. Like The Rock, like Stone Cold, or whoever else you want to name, you know what I mean, that ended up really kind of taking off. And, some of these people were struggling before that. Might have had a solid career, but they ended up becoming who they became because they used more of their true personality and just, you know what I mean, amplified it. That's how I look at Stephen A. and Skip. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about them. And I'm not saying every media personality does that, because I don't think all of them do. But those two right there, most definitely.
Oh yeah.
Well, and just another thing on media in general. So I interviewed someone over the weekend, local artist here. She goes by the name Sammy Lowe. And she had been on America's Got Talent. And so she did her thing and they liked her, but they didn't pick her for the show. And then you kind of, so I say to her, well, why? She didn't have the type of story they wanted. You know, she grew up in a nice town, had a nice life. They want that
They want that
drama.
dramatic shit. Oh, my mama died and I got raped 6 times and I had a baby from one of the rapes and I'm struggling to take care of my baby. And it's
my
wicked,
dad was
bro.
on crack, and I'm just like
That's
why?
the type of shit they want to market. Is she black? If she black, that's definitely what they trying to get the market for her.
That's the thing. She's white.
We want a struggle story.
Yeah, nah, she's white, bro.
Because people tend to buy more into drama and struggle
negativity
and negativity than we'll buy into a positive story.
Absolutely.
And that's what the media try to feed in. That's why I say at the end of the day, the media is a motherfucker, but it still start with people because they only gonna feed us what we want for our appetite.
Hey, that's exactly why if an athlete get a goddamn speeding ticket, it's on ESPN and it's on ESPN.com and it's on First Take. But if they out here doing all kinds of amazing shit in their community, you don't hear too much or nothing about that.
You don't hear nothing about it. But just like you just said that too, and it's I bring this in there. I know a gentleman. Well, not personally, no, but I know of a story of a gentleman who just passed away Friday night. A young high school gentleman, prominent in sports, was getting ready to try to go play sports on the collegiate level. Just graduated high school, went to his prom, and my auntie said that this is a prevalent thing that they do down there. At the prom, they get together and they drive these fast cars on the freeway. So dude was going like 115, 120 miles per hour on the freeway, hit something, killed himself. You ain't heard shit about it on the news, though.
Ain't heard shit about it. No.
and you're not going to.
Crazy how that worked, right?
Crazy how that worked. But if it was the wide receiver for the Chiefs, you know,
right? Oh, Rice. Yeah, you gonna get every detail of that shit.
You gonna get every detail.
You gonna get every damn detail. Oh, my man that played for the Eagles. My man that played for the Eagles.
You don't know who
the
they
young
talk
boy
to
from Georgia, the young kid from that's still at Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you gonna hear all that shit.
All of it.
With no questions asked.
No questions asked. So that's when I heard y'all talking about, I had got off and then I got on my phone and I was listening and I heard y'all talking about that shit. And the first thing I thought about was Skip to my Lou. And I said, God damn it, I gotta go back in the backstage. We're not about to leave that Skip Bayless Jalen Rose story out. These motherfuckers been trying to hold the narrative for years. That's why I like the new media with Draymond them be talking about, but they be on bullshit too. Some of these athletes be on just as much bullshit as Stephen A. Smith them.
I don't think you ever going to or are supposed to agree with everything everybody say though. But if I can get both sides of the conversation, that helps me to fill in the blanks. Whether the athlete is on some bullshit or whether the media person is on some bullshit. Because they all got certain shit that they, you know what I mean, that they working towards or that they trying to hide, or you know what I mean, whatever the case may be. So that's what I'm saying. Like I don't trust neither one. I don't trust either side 100%. I don't distrust either side 100%. It's just more for me. I try to watch and listen and use my filter, you know what I mean, and call bullshit when I see it or when I hear it, whichever side it's on.
Yeah, fact.
That's a fact.
The thing that bothered me though is, and I think we kind of talked about this before. I don't like with the athletes. They don't like people to call they bullshit because they feel like they hold in which to a certain degree they do, but they feel like they hold the end all be all when it come to everything because they played the game.
So you know what I'm saying, or like we was just talking about this the other day. They act like people don't have two eyes and don't watch, and I'm like, you watch something long enough, which all of us here have been watching sports well over 20 plus years. You know what I'm saying? You gonna learn a little something. You play a little pee-wee or a little, AAU like Will did or like I did, and I don't know if you did or not, Mike. You gonna learn a little something. You gonna know a little something. You know what I'm
Little League
saying?
baseball.
Yeah, you gonna know a little something. You might not know what Aaron Judge know, but goddamn it, you learn something along the ranks playing and watching.
But I agree 100% what you're saying, but I'm gonna put that on the media too. They act like you can't tell them shit because you're not the media.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I brought up with the players is that they argue this shit about the media, but then they turn around and do the same shit that the media do. Like Kendrick Perkins, he sit up and say some bullshit sometime, and he be like, bro, like come on, dog, come on, Kendrick, like, bro, you like how they all trying to stockpile up on Jaylen Brown and shit, which I know I said we would kind of allude to that next week or whatever, but like some of the shit that Kendrick Perkins earlier this week got on the TV and had to say about Jaylen Brown was like, bro, come on, bro, you looking like a straight sellout, bro, a straight sellout. And I ain't no Boston fan, but when it come to like just the demeanor of players and stuff like that, I would say that Kendrick Perkins is my kind of guy. Like if I'm building a championship team and I want me a tough nose center, somebody that ain't gonna take no bullshit, whatever the case may be, I'm looking for a Kendrick Perkins type of guy. But since he been in the media, you know what I'm saying, since he became one of Stephen A's brother boys and shit, you know what I'm saying, it's like these dudes just be getting where they come from.
Hey, look, Perk was the main one when he first started in the media, and when he was a player, it was like, man, fuck that bullshit. I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm gonna say what I got to say. Da 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 da. And then after a year or two on ESPN, it's like, man, I done lost my relationship with Russ. I done lost my relationship with KD. I done lost my relationship with LeBron because of the things I come on the TV and say. And it's like, well, nigga, like, okay, you didn't understand what the fuck your job was before you got there, that you was gonna have to critique these niggas, and you played in the league, so you didn't understand that niggas don't be liking that shit. This is the choice you made. You know what I'm saying? This is the choice you made. Just again, the same shit they say about when a motherfucker sign an NBA contract. This is what you signed up for, bro. This is what you get paid to do.
I don't know if y'all remember it, but remember when him and KD had like went back and forth and shit.
Yeah, that's what I say. That's what I say. He was crying about his current relationship with KD, with Russ, and with LeBron because he had to go on TV and give his honest take. And then he came back and cried about the shit because he said they was mad about it. But then it's like, well, I got to do my job though. It's like, all right, well, nigga, do your fucking job and quit crying about the shit.
You chose that job, bro. Like,
right. The same way you don't want to hear these NBA players making excuses for their shit. As a player who played in the league for what, 12, 13, 14 years? How do you not, you know what I'm saying? I would have thought that Perk would have been one of them dudes that was like, just fair. Sometimes he's gonna have to talk his shit about his friends and his players. Sometimes he's gonna have to talk shit about, the media and shit. He done leaned so far into the media shit, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh man, come on, bro. Sometimes you just be on some bullshit.
I'm watching First Take the other day, and he on there talking about, I personally know people from the Boston organization. They don't like you and this and that. Like to me, it's that the narratives, bro. They be trying to drive negative narratives. They don't like that. And when I say this, I'm just putting it out there as like my thought process type of statement because I don't know these dudes personally, so I can't literally say what they like and don't like. So I just want to preference that. But they don't like the fact that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown seem to have a good relationship and actually get along, and that they not bumping heads like Shaq and Kobe. But they want this to be a Shaq and Kobe situation so bad that, you know what I'm saying, they trying to find every narrative that they can to push that shit. And I'll be honest,
shit to write about.
Yeah, but I was just about to say, Jaylen Brown didn't do himself no favors though when he made the statement in the way that he did. I got what he was saying and what he was, trying to put across, but he should have said it in a different way because the way that he put it out there is you basically did really get him easy material to be able to say like, oh, he's saying that this is his favorite season ever because he was the guy and Jason Tatum wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, I think he should have just said, you know, I felt like this was my best season. You know what I'm saying? Being able to lead the team. I didn't have my running mate next to me, but I was able to go out here and still show that I could, you know, get us, you know, a part of the way to where we needed to go.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Does the media not talk?
And that's all they was looking for.
But does the media not talk shit about people when they feel like they giving them microwave answers and bullshit answers?
Yo,
and they say they want them to be honest. And
yeah,
then when they give them honest answers, wait, let me finish.
No,
and then when they give them honest answers,
did y'all hear me? Because it froze out. So I don't even know if y'all heard everything I said because it had completely froze out. And then when it refreshed, I heard Will talking. I'm like, damn, did they hear me?
No.
I think we got you for the most part. All I'm saying is they cry about when motherfuckers just give them the same old media bullshit jargon. But then when somebody says something honest, or they are just their honest self, and they don't like it, that's a problem too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The media wants what they want, when they want it, how they want it.
That's
so so that's what I'm saying. If different sports, but part of the reason the media loves Shea so much is because they don't consider Shea to be like a media hog or a media whore. They say he kind of quiet, low key, laid back. You know what I mean? This and the other, blah blah blah.
But then on the other hand, they'll sit up and use all that against him and say it don't make for him be in the face of the league because he like that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's the point I'm making. If you got a Marshawn Lynch who show up to the Super Bowl media day and say, "Look, I'm just here so I don't get fined." It's like, okay, well, this punk ass nigga, he don't want to see it. Like, nigga, y'all say all he's supposed to be focused on is the Super Bowl, but y'all want him to sit here and answer dumbass questions for 30 minutes to an hour. You know what I'm saying? Half of them ain't got shit to do with the game. You know. So that's what I'm saying. Like the media wants what the media wants, what the media wants, when they want it, how they want it. Wemby popped his shit the night of game 1. You know what I mean? Shea got his MVP trophy. They asked him, did that motivate you, this, that, and the other? And Wemby basically said he felt like he should have been MVP in so many words. He said that shit before the season ended.
Yeah.
And the media was like, oh, we love him. That's what he's supposed to say. But it's been other players who speak on that kind of shit. And it's like, well, no, why does he feel he gets to say that? He needs to let people speak for him on his behalf. No, the fuck he don't. Why the fuck this grown ass man can't speak his mind? You know what I mean? About how he feeling about this shit. So again, even with the Jaylen Brown, if he said this was his favorite season of his career, who the fuck is Stephen A to tell him that it's not? Why the fuck does Stephen A get to tell him that it shouldn't be? You know what I'm saying? He don't have to agree with what he said, but he ain't got to throw dirt on that man's name, making it sound like, you know what I mean, the best season that he's had of his career should be something that he just got to be like, well, no, you know what? Because we lost in the second round. So, you know, lost in the first round. So, you know, I just got to let that shit go. Like he didn't have the best season of his career. Y'all know me. More than one thing can be true at the same time. You know? I'm sure he loved that championship season, but this is the first season that he just got a chance to go out and ball and show the best of his ability.
Yeah.
And outperformed what everybody expected him to do. So I don't think it's anything wrong with what he said.
And again, I wasn't necessarily saying that it was anything wrong with what he said. I just said the way that
I'm not saying you said that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you said that. Just so we clear.
He just conveyed it in the way that sometimes you can say something and you mean it a certain way and you know that it's not wrong what you saying, but just because of how you said it, other people can take it
wrong with that narrative.
Right. And that's all I was, you know, kind of conveying too, like that if he would have just kind of, which he was talking on his own. This ain't nothing that a PR representative wrote up for him or something, because hell, if it was, then I'm pretty sure they probably would have written it in a different way for him to say it, like, you know what I'm saying? But then, like I say, they turn around to Stephen A. punk ass with, and like, Jason Tatum hasn't been on your stream yet, and blah, blah, blah. And like, what the fuck do that got to do with anything?
Hey, but Stephen A. the same nigga that's ever since Skip left, he be shouting that number one shit, right?
I never worked with him again. Wasn't he just on there last Friday?
Yeah,
last Friday.
He was. Wasn't they on Gil's Arena together about a month and a half, 2 months ago, which led to the whole shit last Friday?
Yeah.
But like I said, when them checks hit the table and them zeros and all that shit, that changed a nigga character and narrative right there.
Right. And also now we see Skip humbling himself just a little bit, because since Shannon left, shit ain't been the same for Skip, right? Shit done fucking fell apart.
Close.
Shit done fell apart. The fucking ratings,
you know what I mean? On the
ratings cratered.
The ratings might be the same thing for ESPN too, because from what I read, Stephen A. is lobbying to have Shannon Sharp back next football season in the fall. He wants him back.
Shannon's still doing numbers. Don't really nobody give a fuck about what Skip got to say at this point. You know what I'm saying?
And look at everything Shannon Sharp has been through. He had the very public, breakup, if you will, or dismissal, however you want to word it, with Shannon or with Skip, and then he comes over to ESPN, and then Cat Williams came on there and did what he did on Club Shay Shay. Then Monique went on a month later and started her shit. Then all the scandal stuff came up and all that, and he's still getting people on his show. He's still pulling. He's still making it happen. And this will all blow over. Like, this is, to me, I don't think about that at all when I think Shannon Sharp. So
I don't either, because I know how these dumbass heifers are. And I know how they money hungry and how they try to swindle, especially them red heifers. And you know what I mean when I say red. We know how they do with our brothers in the media or in the fame world at all. How they be after the check. We just seen the shit come out about a week ago where they exposed some dude that just got drafted. They exposed his girlfriend or his fiance, actually his wife. Her text messages somehow got leaked to her little sister, because her little sister was asking her. I don't know if y'all seen this.
How to get an NFL dude or some shit like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I saw that.
It was like a whole book this bitch wrote, how to go get a black athlete or whatever to be his wife and shit. And the fucked up part about it, when I was reading, I'm like, damn, this bitch know a lot about how to treat a black man more than a sister. She need to publish this shit,
man. I don't know if y'all fans of Girlfriends or not, but Maya wrote that book. Oh hell yeah!
Hell yeah, I love Girlfriends. That used to be the shit.
That's the new Maya. Oh hell yeah!
Oh my god, that's funny.
Man.
Well, another good episode, boys, for sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
Did you just change your clothes? Well, I'm gonna break up off of here, boys. R&B, you wanna host next week?
Yeah, I can take care of it next week.
Real quick before we go, Mike. And I wanted to say, I know Raj had to dip because he had to get to work or whatever. I'm probably gonna have to step back. I accepted a new job that I start on Monday, but I'm on the afternoon shift. Okay. You know what I mean? I'll be working from 3 to 12.
Oh wow.
So I know I won't be able to do like Mondays. You know what I'm saying? Sundays, depending on what time we talking about, I might be able to, finagle that. But I accepted a new position. I start not this coming Monday. Not today, but next Monday. I start over there.
June 1st.
Right. Correct.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what? Hey, if you're free Sundays when we do it Sundays, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Next week we're gonna do Monday because next Sunday is my birthday, and I'm got the day planned out. I'm chilling.
The 31st.
31st is my birthday. Yeah.
Happy birthday, man. Again, I'm a May baby, but my mama is May 31st, and one of my best friends is May 31st as well.
Oh, well, appreciate it. Yeah, last day of the May Gemini, so you know.
Hey, you a different kind. I maybe just because we ain't hung out in person like that, but you a different kind of May Gemini than the ones I got in my life. I tell you that.
One day,
my ex-wife is also a May Gemini.
One day it's gonna happen. Me and Raj gonna come out to the D. Pause. We're gonna come out to the Motor City. That's a little safer to say.
Man, shit, we got to get out to New York too, man. I ain't been in New York since I was about 4 or 5 years old, man. So
shit, I ain't been in New York since never. So
oh man. Yeah, you come up here, we're gonna have to take you down to the city. Like when people think New York, they always think the city. Like
the boroughs.
Yeah, like where me and Raj is at, there's an inner city, but it's not, it's like more like a residential area. You can't walk. You can't walk everywhere. You go into Manhattan or God.
What city do you live in? What actual city do you live in?
So the city that I live in is named Middletown, New York. Raj lives in another city called Poughkeepsie.
I've heard of Poughkeepsie
before. How far are y'all apart?
From me to Raj, about an hour.
So y'all on opposite sides of the city.
Well, it's broken into little cities. So like there's the like the main city between us is the city we're both from, Newburgh. So we're on opposite points in that regard, but you go up and down, but if I were to go to Raj, it takes me about an hour to get to Poughkeepsie.
Okay.
But yeah, we would take y'all down to the city, let y'all see Manhattan, and get some New York pizza, some New York Chinese food. Ensure that you guys make every bad decision food-wise while you're here.
Oh, okay, you cleared up. You said food-wise, because I'm like, man, I'm trying to go to Queensbridge. I'm trying to hit Bed-Stuy. I'm trying to see where Big and Fab came from, bro.
We can do it all. Oh man,
I'm trying to go to Harlem, which Harlem is Manhattan, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's everyone who don't want to say they from Manhattan. They say Harlem. That's how I feel. They like, nah, we ain't saying Manhattan. That sound white. We gonna make up another name.
I'll say this. It's Detroit, but if you look at a map of Detroit, literally there are 2 cities inside of Detroit. One of them is Highland Park. One of them is Hamtramck. Detroit tried to annex these cities, years ago, but they wasn't going for it. I'm from Highland Park, and Detroit people think it's funny because Highland Park people, we're not going to tell you, if I'm having a conversation with somebody from, from another state that don't have I'm from Detroit. Because if I say Highland Park, Michigan, you ain't got no clue what the hell I'm talking about.
Right.
But around here, oh no, we from HP. You know what I'm saying? We from HP. So I get it to a certain degree. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
This my hood. This where I'm from. I get all of this other stuff around here, and that's cool. That's cool. Right. But I'm from Highland Park.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it remind me of that. It remind me of that.
Because like here, it's different. Everything's just there's different towns. Like even like to a point. Like okay, like where I live, Middletown. There's actually like another town. Like so, like it goes Middletown, then it goes the town of Wallkill, and then it goes Scotchtown. So, but when some people look at it, it's all Middletown. But I had a guy on here running for oh my gosh, running for councilman for
Mhm.
for Walkill, and he was like, "No, it's not. It's you're gonna what? Oh, go ahead." He's like, "No, I don't go to. I don't. I'm not representing Middletown. I'm representing the town of Walkill." And then he's like, "Then
Okay.
there's another set of people that do Scotchtown." So I'm like, "Damn." He's like, "Yeah. Anytime that zip code changes, you in a different town."
Yeah.
So, but
See
I
here the people in the suburbs, they want to claim Detroit when they want to claim Detroit, but they want to be from Rochester or from Auburn Hills or from Ferndale or from Bloomfield Hills when they, you know what I'm saying? Like when they get cool points, they want to be from the D.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
Funny how that works,
Exactly.
right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
that's like there's a girl here. She's from here. Her name's you probably heard of her, Erica Mena.
Yeah,
She's been
yeah.
yep. She's
Yeah.
from the town I'm from, Newburgh, New
Okay.
York.
Okay.
But if you go on her like IMDb and stuff, she reps the Bronx. And like to
Okay.
me, someone who knows her, like we used to watch this chick get her ass beat in fights because she wouldn't close her mouth, which is why a reality show is great for her. And she could just talk and talk and talk. Like, but I remember vividly this girl getting her ass beat in fights.
Correct.
And then now I just see her chatter. I'm like, oh, you perfect for that.
Right.
You talking, you talking. Get your
Say,
ass beat again.
because you know that on-set security gonna jump in, and they're not gonna let her get mopped like that on TV.
Nah. They ain't gonna let her get that ass waxed. They not playing that game. They like, nah, we got protection for you now. But yeah, but you know, that's the thing. So because she's trying to represent and allure, oh, Brenda, you might have to plug that in. I think it's that's why she does that.
Can't hear you.
Girl ain't did the thing in her life.
Can't hear you. You might have got it too far. You might have got too far away from the computer. I don't know. I can barely hear you now.
Hold on. My daughter turned this microphone
Oh,
on.
there you go. That's better.
Yeah, she turned this microphone on. So she's trying, it's connected to my phone. So she about to do it again and this is gonna disconnect. So let me get running here. Well, I
Go ahead,
appreciate the
man. Go ahead.
contribution you had to the show, and I'm sure you'll
Most
still
definitely.
be on when you can.
That,
You know, you gotta
that's what I
stay
was
in the
gonna say.
threads.
No, I was gonna say, you know, what? Let me figure out what this job look like. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, if
Oh,
it's
turn that
times
back
where I can
on.
hop in, you know what I mean. I'll do that. But you
Right.
know how I go when you change a job. I gotta, yeah, I gotta see what's going on over here. You know what I mean? Before I
Absolutely.
you know, before I try to start plotting and planning.
Right. And then, like
You
I
know,
said, you gonna be working Sundays too?
my off days are gonna be Thursdays and Fridays, and I'm working from 3 in the afternoon till 12 in the evening, till 12 at night.
Okay. Yeah. So
You see what I'm saying?
that's a time consumer there.
Yeah, yeah.
But hey, hopefully it's more money for you. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
ooh,
Yeah.
it's not much. It's not as much as I was making when I was working at Juvie, but it's still way more than I make working for the city. And
Okay.
that's the most important part right now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I
So
can barely afford to work for the city anymore at this point. So
I hear that. Yeah, definitely. Well, good luck on that, bro. Let us keep us in the loop, and whenever you can hop in, man, we're here.
most definitely, I appreciate you, bro.
No doubt,
And you
bro.
know,
Take it to
I appreciate the opportunity, man. This shit made my day. You know.
yeah. Listen, you know, we got to do what we got to do, and talking sports and BSing. But I'm a miss your takes though. I ain't gonna lie. But you know what? I'm gonna say during especially when football comes back around, I
Yeah,
definitely still want to do the live stream thing. So even if me, you,
yeah,
and R&B do it during the Thursday night game, the live stream
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
you know that way you know, and Brandon will come back into the fold at that time. So we definitely gonna get you back in here.
Most definitely. Like I say, I'm still around. You know, same thing I'm telling people at the building I work in for the city. I know I'm leaving, but I'm still around. Don't mean that I'm gone for good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to
Exactly.
figure it out. I'm gonna try to figure out how to still be available. So
Well, when you figure it out, you let us know. We make it happen. There's always a room for you here.
most definitely, man. You try to enjoy the rest of your holiday. Don't let that wife and kids, you know what I mean, drive you too crazy. And
Ah,
if I
bro,
don't
my
speak,
wife's at work. Two of my daughters went to the park. The other one's in here about to bake cookies.
okay, okay, sounding good right about now, right?
You know, like they chilling. You know.
What what you say? As much peace as you gonna get, huh?
Listen, I'll take it. I'll take it. Any little bit of peace I can get, I'm gonna take.
You know, I'm a girl dad too, so I know exactly how it goes, brother.
Exactly. Exactly. But, all right, bro, do your thing and I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Hey, if I don't get a chance to speak to you, then enjoy your birthday, man.
Oh, I definitely will. I appreciate that, my brother.
Most definitely. Like I say, I'll be checking in with y'all, and I'm gonna try. You
Oh,
know, like I say, even if I'm not available, I'm gonna try to make sure I stay in the text thread too.
yeah, we be in there, man. So we'll make it happen one way or another.
Raj gonna be really mad at me now because I'm really gonna be fucking with.
And he ain't gonna have no way to say nothing to you either. He'll be like, damn, he talking shit. He ain't even on the show every week anymore.
Man, enjoy the rest of your day, bro. I'll check in with y'all in a minute.
All right, bro. Peace.
All right, peace.